He's destined to get knocked out by Jake Paul. She's destined to film it. They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Getting closer and closer to the coaching matchup that we've all been waiting for. Sean Payton versus Nathaniel Hackett. Hey, welcome to the show.
I don't know if everyone's been waiting for that particular coaching matchup.
Oh, they're waiting. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, the new morning show right here on CBS Sports Radio. So glad to have you with us. We got a lot to get to today, but this is where we start because the Sean Payton era in Denver has been nothing short of embarrassing. And I understand that it's 4 games in and that they are 1-3. It took a 21-point comeback against easily the worst team in the NFL, and the Chicago Bears, to even get that first win. They have already lost by 50 points to the Miami Dolphins, who then went and lost to the Buffalo Bills. So this is not the Miami Dolphins, the Mercury Morris going 17-0 Dolphins here. They've had some seriously embarrassing losses. And I mentioned the coaching thing, Perloff, because Sean Payton stepped in it before he even coached a game, before he even coached his first loss. And that was when he took on Nathaniel Hackett and said that he was basically the worst coach the NFL's ever seen.
Okay, so who else said that Nathaniel Hackett was the worst head coach that they've ever seen? You
me.
And every single human being in the media. So why are you calling out Sean Payton for that? He was honest in one moment, which is a Sean Payton thing. Remember, he's Bill Parcells' protege.
Yeah.
So he's honest. Was he wrong about Nathaniel Hackett as a head coach?
Well, right now, Nathaniel Hackett did put a more representative product on the field through 4 games than Sean Payton has.
What is in New York? Nathaniel Hackett, the Jets offensive coordinator.
I'm talking about last year when he was the head coach of the Broncos.
Oh, okay.
They at least were 2-2. Their defense last year in 10 different contests held their opponents to under 20 points. I know Sean Payton is the offensive guy, but that doesn't mean you totally have no fingerprints on the defense, or it's not your problem, or you don't get any backlash when your defense stinks. Their defense stinks, and what's worse, they don't seem interested in tackling. That is a head coach thing, because they released Randy Gregory yesterday. That was a mistake. You know, they signed him to a massive contract, like 5 years, $70 million, whatever. If they don't think he's giving max effort, that's totally fine. Get rid of him. It probably sends a better message to your locker room anyway, so maybe give a point to Payton there. But you have a team that is admitting they're pointing fingers at each other. That's on the head coach. That's the Sean Payton culture builder. Like, I know it's not going to snap your fingers happen overnight, but can it happen? Can we see a little bit of it? Just a little.
Yesterday at Broncos practice, 5 guys came back who've been hurt. Josie Jewell, who's awesome. Justin Simmons, who's good. PJ Locke, Baron Browning, who's awesome. And Frank Clark, who's awesome. This is a thing with Denver that people do not realize. Last year, everybody was hurt.
Right.
This year, it starts out, Sean Payton's entire roster has a Q next to it for questionable. Everybody's been hurt. So basically, they're all coming back. They could cut Randy Gregory. They're paying $10 million to Randy Gregory this year. He was that bad to get him out of the building.
Yeah, they cut him.
Send a message.
Yep.
So you got to give a coach like Sean Payton time to shape this roster. It's the NFL. You don't just come in day one and have your team on the field ready to go. You got to give Sean Payton time.
They spent $250 million in free agency. Talk about shaping the roster. They've done nothing but try to get players in that Sean Payton wanted, I presume, or at least that Sean Payton signed off on.
But now that he hasn't had a full roster. And also, by the way,
you want to know who else doesn't have a full roster? Lots of guys in the NFL.
Yeah, and they all are in trouble. If you have a bunch of injuries, then you lose football games.
Pete Carroll was down 3 offensive linemen.
Yeah, and he played the Giants. They scored 17 points on offense.
Listen, it's not like the Denver Broncos have had this murderer's row of a schedule so
I know
far.
They had an embarrassing loss to the Dolphins, but it was 100 degrees, and they were sitting in the sun. That was a clear, oh, my gosh, it's way too hot to play football. We do not want to be here. We're from Denver. It's mountain air.
Yeah, that's the dome team. Sean Payton all those years in New Orleans, I guess, can't play in the weather now.
They were used to the cold, chilly nights in Denver. To go to the 100 degrees Miami, that was not fair. And I love the way the Dolphins have them sitting in the sun. Okay, that was one bad loss, but there are some good things this year.
They blew a lead to the Commanders.
Commanders are good.
Are they? They're not bad, but they're not good. And Las Vegas is a train wreck, and they lost to them in the season opener.
No, I know. It's a season opener. You're judging Sean Payton too quickly. Nobody thought that the Denver Broncos were challenging for the Super Bowl this year. I did not see one person predict them going far or anywhere.
Not about the Super Bowl, but I think you thought it was going to come in and look a lot better than it did under Nathaniel Hackett. And through 4 games, it really doesn't look a lot better. Okay, Sean Payton isn't dialing up 64-yard field goals to try to win a game, which Nathaniel Hackett did, which was dumb, but it hasn't been good.
Okay, if I told you this, though, that Russell Wilson, you saw Russell Wilson last year, and you criticized him as well. Everybody did. He was not good. If I had told you he has 1,000 yards passing through the first 3 games, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks. He's third in the entire NFL in passer rating. That's one spot above your guy, Josh Allen, on the Buffalo Bills.
And what do they have to show for it?
I'm just saying, Sean Payton's an offensive guy. He already looks like he's fixing Russell Wilson. Wilson looks much more comfortable, much more. First of all, Wilson can't even run, but his numbers are great. Does that mean anything to you?
It means, and I believe that no one even thinks that Russell Wilson will probably be the quarterback for the Denver Broncos next year.
Tell you.
So you're basically fixing him for what? Like, there's so many people who believe that if the Denver Broncos continue to lose, that perhaps Sean Payton would try to get his different quarterback in there.
Maybe so. Or it could mean if the Broncos fix this, they get to 500 and he's in the top, like he might get that MVP vote. I mean, his numbers are sick right now, and he looks really accurate. He's had injuries all over to deal with. Jerry Jeudy's been hurt. Greg Dulcich, who he loves, has been hurt. I think Russell Wilson looks much better. And Sean Payton, who cares about the defense? He's Sean Payton.
Yeah, but he has nothing to care about the defense because they don't care.
Do you remember any Sean Payton defenses in New Orleans? Just the one with Greg Williams and all that bounty stuff.
Yeah, bounty.
So Sean Payton's an offensive guy. And I just think that they're already signed through a few games that they're fixing a lot of things there.
Okay, but that's what the one thing that Sean Payton had to learn when he got to New Orleans. It was offense, and it wasn't until they finally did start getting a representative defense that they were able to go to the Super Bowl and beat Peyton Manning. I mean, you're talking about whether they're going to be able to win a lot of games this year. With what you've seen so far, they have the Jets this weekend, of course, because this is the rehash of Nathaniel Hackett versus Sean Payton really fired the first shot. Then they go to the Chiefs, then Green Bay, Chiefs again, at the Bills, Minnesota, Cleveland, Houston is not a walkover. Yep. The Chargers, Detroit, not a walkover. You're playing the Patriots. Who knows what that's going to be like? And then finish it out with the 2 division games with the Chargers and the Raiders. Where are the wins on this schedule?
Well, you have to realize you're going to see all new players because everyone's coming back from injury. So
I have a lot of faith in Frank Clark. I know he's a good
Josie
player.
Jewell's a really good player too, and Simmons. I honestly, it's going to be a different defense altogether. Physically, it's going to be different people out there. I think at some point they go on a little run. I don't think they're being in the playoffs or anything like that. But the other thing, even last year, as bad as it was with Hackett, when things were going south, they played the Chiefs really tough. They could sneak away a win there. I'm telling you, do not count Sean Payton out here. It might be a case where he finally figures it out in the second half of the season. But I have a feeling at the end of the season, we're going to say, Sean Payton, the Broncos didn't make the playoffs, but there's some reason to be excited here.
It's funny. I know that obviously when you give up 70 points against Miami Dolphins, it's going to skew a little bit of your stats, but their defense is last or near last in basically every statistical category. They've given up 150 points and over 1,800 yards. Guys, it's like early October. That's wild. I know it's skewed because of the Dolphins, but this is the worst defensively. If you're just looking at the defense, this is the worst 4-game stretch any team has had since 1981. We're talking about a historically bad defense here. That's going to all of a sudden flip because
guarantee it.
Because Frank Clark.
I will guarantee that flips. In fact, we can make any show bet you want because they have so many players coming back. They have all their veterans coming back. It's going to be way different. Because
last year cut one of their veterans, Randy Gregory.
Last year it was a really good defense. So
yeah, that was a really good defense.
None of those guys have been playing. Yeah, but none of those guys have been healthy. Now they're all going to trickle back, and at some point you're going to see something a little closer to last year. It can't be worse.
Well, that's true. I'm glad you mentioned bets because, oh boy, do we have a doozy for you tomorrow. New show, still getting to know everybody and getting to know the audience. One thing you're going to learn about us is we love a good show bet around here. Perloff and I made a bet months ago about Joe Burrow and whether or not he would take a bigger contract than Justin Herbert. Guys, this was like shooting fish in a barrel for me. I knew he was going to take more money. I bet Perloff that Joe Burrow would take more money. You thought he would take less than Justin Herbert in this sort of like Tom Brady situation.
Yeah, I thought he was a team guy. I guess not. I guess Joe Burrow is about Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I know. He's just playing through a calf injury because he's so selfish. But Perloff now, because he lost that bet, has to eat a bowl of Skyline chili, Cincinnati's finest, with no hands.
Oh.
That's going to happen tomorrow. What time would you like to eat this chili?
8 o'clock's fine.
Okay.
I don't care.
I've never had chili before 2 p.m.
I
I don't know how this is going to go for you.
Are you a chili person? Because
Not really.
I could eat chili 24 hours a day. It's my favorite food.
It's such an odd favorite food. It's so heavy. So we have the cans here. If you want to watch, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio is where you can see the goods have arrived right here in the studio. 4 cans of Cincinnati's famous Skyline chili.
Wait, are you guys on the other side of the glass? Are you guys chili fans?
A nice fresh chili. I love it.
Yeah. Pat?
Love a good homemade chili.
So you guys, in other words,
What about a can of chili?
Did you hear what they just said? They basically don't want to join me on this chili adventure because it's in a can and we're going to heat it up.
Yeah.
I'll join you, Perloff.
No hands?
Well, yeah, I think I'll be the one who asks you with no hands. But there's 4 cans here, so I'll make some for you too, Pat. And it's famous in Skyline. They put it on top of spaghetti and they put melted cheese on there. It should be delicious.
Now, Skyline chili gets a lot of hate.
And it gets some love too. Like people,
It's controversial.
some people like it. It's polarizing.
Yeah, very much so. Well, this is going to happen. So set an alarm, set a reminder. Perloff goes diving face first into a bowl of Skyline chili tomorrow. And I can't wait because these photos are going to live online forever. And that's why I was very happy that I didn't lose this bet.
You did bring up a good point. You have long hair. That would have been
This would have been a
very
nightmare.
tricky.
Yeah.
Maggie, New York State was saying that they're going to open up bars early on Sunday for the Bills and London game. Maybe we should start, people should start opening up restaurants for chili at 8 a.m.
It's like a breakfast morning chili, That sounds delightful.
Like a Bloody Mary, but in chili form.
Yeah.
But actually at 8 a.m. with the new schedule, I've already been up for 4 hours. It
It's
kind of
true.
feels like lunchtime.
I
Day's
know.
almost over.
8 a.m. to us now does take on a little bit of a different feel. But for your stomach, we've only been doing this show for 3 days. This is day
This will
4.
be fine. This will be fine. When I ate the jar of peanut butter in our other famous food challenge,
Yeah, when you became
my
a living
stomach
legend.
was not right for 3 weeks. This one, I'm just going to eat 1 can, right? I don't have to eat all 4 cans. There's no quantity here.
No, I think 1 can is probably enough.
So what do we do with the other 3 cans?
I don't know. Boomer Sison's down the hall. He used to play for the Bengals. Maybe he wants one.
Yeah, but I've never heard him say anything nice about Skyline Chili. I don't know how he feels about it, but I don't know a lot of fans.
We're going to find out. 855-212-4CBS. Again, that's going to happen tomorrow. We're going to finish out the week very strong with Perloff. Have you decided about the poncho? I keep telling you, something like a bib is not going to do anything here. You need
a poncho.
Yeah, to protect your clothes.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna wear old clothes.
Oh,
You think
you
I
could do
should?
that.
Yeah, I was actually gonna wear either a Maggie and Perloff T-shirt or a Phillies jersey or something to represent, because this could, as you said, live forever on the internet. I don't want to be on a poncho in some image that's going to be found by my kids 25 years from now.
Philly shirt's a good idea. Get that all saturated.
Yeah, I think all of us in here get behind the Philly shirt getting defiled and defaced with
Well, actually,
Skyline chili.
I have a red Phillies sort of jersey shirt, and I think the chili is red. I was hoping that it wouldn't ruin the Philly shirt.
Just kind of blend in.
Well, the thing is, I do need this Phillies shirt, and you guys know why. Because they're advancing to the next round. Maggie doesn't want to face it.
I don't.
I texted her last night in the middle of the night saying, we're leading with the Bryson Stott Grand Slam,
Yeah.
right? And she said, who?
And I said, enjoy the 104 win Atlanta Braves. Let's see how tough you're talking in a couple days.
Oh, and because 100 wins in MLB guarantees any playoff success.
It's actually true. It doesn't not matter. 855-212-4CBS. We get it going with Sean Payton. I think so far it has been an embarrassment for the coach. I mean, this is what he said to defend himself. Pete, can we play the latte defense? My favorite. He airs out Nathaniel Hackett, says that he's the worst coach basically in the history of the NFL, and then walks it back because he had too much coffee.
2 lattes in the morning, first one I see, and 40 minutes later, I'm regretting it.
I mean, dude's been coaching the NFL his whole life, but 2 cups of coffee, and all of a sudden he's flying off the handle.
This is ridiculous. You killed Nathaniel Hackett forever.
Yeah.
So
That was me on the radio.
Sean Payton was saying that to support Russell Wilson, and as bad as the Broncos have been, at least Russell Wilson looks good. I think he'll struggle a little bit against the Jets. It's the first good defense he's seen in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Can we face somebody? I mean, I thought the Commanders' defense was going to be very good this year, but
I will laugh so
wrong.
hard if they win 9 games somehow this year, and Russell Wilson has this ridiculous pass rating. Watch him get his first MVP vote. If people are sleeping on the fact that Russell Wilson is dropping dimes all over the field. It helps when you play bad defenses.
Oh, man, we've got so much on tap today. We started off with the Broncos and Sean Payton. Want to hear from you, 855-212-4CBS. We say good morning to the Weedos and the coffee drinkers in the chat, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. We are on the absolutely free to download Odyssey app. It's crystal clear. If you find yourself going through some back roads or whatever, or signal goes in and out, definitely got to download the app. We are also on Sirius XM channel 158. Coming up, what you missed from last night, including someone taking a shot at their own fans. Why? Why would you take on the fans? It never works. Maggie, Perloff, you, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the Maggie and Perloff show. Maggie, I learned a lot about my Philadelphia Phillies last night. Starting with the fact that JT Realmuto's real name is Jacob Tyler. Because did anybody know that? The Phillies tweet out Jacob Tyler with the home run. I'm like, Jacob Tyler? Is that some sort of prospect that I've never heard of? I was watching the game. I'm like, there's nobody named Jacob Tyler at the home run. Then it's like JT. Finally, it was like a puzzle. And I figured out that's who they were talking about.
Man, this lack of sleep is really getting to your brain. I mean, that one really threw you for a loop.
Wait, did anyone here know JT? Bogus, you're here. Did you know JT Realmuto's real name?
What?
Yeah. Nobody knew JT Realmuto's. No one has ever referred to him as Jacob.
Well,
he doesn't look like a Jacob.
Because nobody cares. I don't know. I mean,
Ding, 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 ding.
He's like a 5-time. What are you talking about? He's a big star.
I think he's a great player, but his name is just 2 first names, and so we made him initials. I don't know. It's not that cool to me.
I think it's really interesting to go. You just are so anti-Phillies, Maggie.
He could be Jake Realmuto.
Oh,
He's still the same career.
This guy was the second baseman on the Mets. We could have a 40-minute conversation about this right now. You were just anti-Phillies, and I can tell you're even rooting for the Atlanta Braves, aren't you?
I think I am. I was thinking about that. This is weird. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and I think that's what's going on.
That is, I can't believe you basically, you don't love the underdog Phillies here against the big, bad, mighty Braves?
No, I don't.
Well, Maggie, since you're a Mets fan, I think it just makes sense rooting for your daddies, the Braves.
Yeah, thank you for that, Pat. Well,
that's good.
They've been everybody's dad. And
not in the postseason. I mean, a couple years ago, but I'm not scared of the Braves.
You should be. It's historic what they're doing this season. I know baseball's wonky and weird, but this one is real. And talk about overcoming injuries. We're talking about the Denver Broncos in the first segment, how Perloff thinks they're going to turn things around because, Frank Clark and Josie Jewell are coming back, even though they have a historically terrible defense through the first 4 weeks. However, the Braves have had multiple injuries to their pitching staff. They're still amazing. And the offense goes without saying. They're amazing. They're incredible.
As someone who has followed the Dodgers closely for a few years, regular season win totals, do not read too much of them. Playoff baseball is bananas.
Yeah, but you also don't get home field advantage now. Your Philly faithful... fanatic stuff is all gonna...
Phillies won 87 games last year and made it to Game 6 of the World Series. There's no rhyme or reason here. I'm sorry, maybe the Braves will win, but this is a very hard to predict postseason.
Do you have an arrogance because you beat them last year?
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm not scared of it. The Braves, any team that wins 104 games, this is basically because of Maggie's Mets last year.
Thank you.
I think that's almost...
I did something.
It's almost a bad thing in today's baseball game.
Yeah.
The Dodgers won 100 games. Does that give you more faith in them in the postseason? It's just something really different. The Phillies only won 90 games this year, but they sort of were preparing for the postseason the last few weeks. They're getting their rotation set. I have a lot of confidence. I think this is going to be a really competitive series.
It's funny. Somehow you have a lot of confidence, yet you admit that baseball is basically the most unpredictable postseason, maybe outside of hockey, that we have.
I just think that the Braves, with 104 wins, are going to be a little tighter here. I think the Phillies are going to play loose because they're sort of like this gang of misfits. They have that vibe.
Does Acuna Jr. look like someone who's ever playing tight to you?
I don't know. There's a lot of expectations for this year's Braves.
I don't know. They've won a World Series rather recently. I mean, I don't think they're feeling that kind of pressure.
Well,
anyway.
the one thing about the Braves, 1 through 9, you kind of got to pitch around everybody there.
Yeah, right.
Their 8-hitter has 36 homers and 1,000 OPS.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a problem.
Has anyone really... We figured out what's going on? I mean, this is a really unbelievable season.
It is ridiculous. That lineup, Olsen, he terrifies me. Yeah, but again, I honestly think, you look at this wild card round, did anybody predict that we'd have all sweeps? It is just very, very, very unpredictable, chaotic. I love it, but I honestly feel more confident than I did last year. I have no idea why. I'm probably an idiot.
You know what I really dislike about postseason baseball? And we'll get to bogus in the headlines in just a moment. This is what I dislike about postseason baseball.
That the Mets are never there?
Well, again, thank you. This is what I dislike about it. I dislike the fact that the like preconceived roadmap of how a manager is supposed to manage like gets in the way of what's actually happening in the game. Like it happened last night again with Schneider from the Blue Jays takes out Barrios, who's pitching great because they have this pre-assigned plan of how they're going to get through the game. And meanwhile, it completely backfires because your pitcher was actually doing well. And because you pre-assigned the fact that he has got to get pulled after 45 pitches or whatever it was going to be, it completely blew up in their faces. That bothers me to no end. Analytics, fine. It's part of the game. I'm cool with it. But to this degree is infuriating. And if I was talking to any Blue Jays fans here, they would know exactly what I'm talking about.
Man, that must have really kept you up at night.
No.
Maggie came in. She was cursing out the Blue Jays manager. Oh,
so
man.
upset.
That son of a...
Yeah.
I can't believe he did this. My Blue Jays.
You know what really is keeping me up at night? And this is new because you and I are new to a morning show. It's our very first week doing mornings here on CBS Sports Radio. I didn't realize I wasn't going to trust my alarm clock. And this has now become my biggest thing. I set it. I show it to my husband. I'm like, you see this is set? I've set the multiple alarms. My house is basically booby-trapped with alarms, and I still don't trust they're going to go off.
I have the same problem. I wake up on the hour, every hour, look at the clock.
Yes.
Don't worry. Soon you will be so exhausted that you'll actually forget to set your alarms.
That's another problem.
No.
I hit a wall last night. There was 3 things I was supposed to do last night. I was 0 for 3. I definitely in the afternoons, I'm in a bit of a haze.
What were those 3 things?
Well, one of them.
Text back our guest for tomorrow. Totally blew it on our
I
celebrity.
kind of screwed that up.
Yeah. We had a major celebrity book for tomorrow to do NFL picks. Perloff forgot to text him back.
But and everything at home, the house is chaos without me sort of contributing.
Now you're just like a lump on the couch.
Yeah.
It's like leave a kid at swim practice. What do you mean?
Hey, did you take your? I got a text wife. Hey, did you take your daughter to this? Nope. I was supposed to. Have you looked at your phone in the last 3 hours? Nope.
Just been walking around in a haze. Like, what time is it?
Yeah, yesterday. So this is our 4th day?
Yep.
It really hit me yesterday. Finally, I realized, oh man, this is an adjustment. But I feel great in the morning.
During the show, I feel phenomenal.
3 o'clock, we did the 3 to 6 Eastern. I was exhausted by 3 o'clock. But now I feel great. It's just the afternoons. Do you guys do anything after the show? Like, are you productive at all?
I try to be. I usually go home and nap right after this and then like kind of reset my day. Go to the gym, eat. Do normal human things.
Pat is also single with no kids.
Exactly.
You don't
Pat
count.
doesn't count.
Well,
yeah, baby, that's right.
Let's go down that road.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm a jogger. I'm a runner, and I haven't had the energy to run in the afternoon. Will that come back?
I think you need to force yourself because the jogging will give you energy.
Yeah.
You got to force yourself to do something. And I told Maggie this. You gotta leave here. That's my number one advice. Don't linger here. If you need to do actual things, like text a famous person, do that.
Yes.
But like by 10:30, 10:45, you need to be out of the building.
Yep.
Get out of here.
Outdoor.
Get home. Take your nap right away or do your stuff right away and then take a little nap. You also have to find out the right length of nap for you. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
You don't want to nap too long because then you mess up nighttime, but you want to take enough of a nap to give yourself
refreshed.
a reset.
Yeah.
This is a formula.
There's a lot.
Okay.
I've been doing this for decades.
Did you see J.J. Watt in Hard Knocks? I was trying to channel J.J. Watt, who took multiple mini naps and was in the best shape of his life. How do you do that?
Also, now that I have to take a nap, I find that I have dreams at night, and now I have afternoon nap dreams.
Yeah.
And they're both riddled with anxiety. No, I'm just kidding. This has been great. Andrew Bogusch is here with all of the latest headlines. Good morning, Bogusch.
You know, also, too, you guys deserve credit for the fact that you're also adding an hour of show. It's earlier and it's 4 hours as opposed to 3. It's extra heavy lifting.
You're talking to Terminator and Terminator 2 right here. We're machines.
Haven't even noticed.
Yep, we're just eating innings. We
That
love
9
it.
to 10.
3 hours wasn't enough.
All right. Well,
I wouldn't have been able to get in all that Blue Jays stuff if we were only 3 hours.
Talk to me in the 3rd week of July, Bogusch.
Canada's fired up still this morning.
I know. All
Calling
that
for
stuff
firing.
gets left on the cutting room floor. Now I got room to talk about the Blue Jays.
It was a weird Little League strategy. Like, everyone's got to play. No, they don't. We're good. Let them pitch.
Yeah, how about your best guys when you're out facing elimination?
Yeah. And hit, too. I mean, I think that's the one thing they could.
Or don't get picked off at second when you're Vlad
There's
Guerrero
also
Jr.
that.
How
But
about
let's
that?
begin with the Marlins, who, not surprisingly, we're useless.
Lefty on lefty, the infield is in, and the pitch to Bryson. Fastball hit in the air, deep to right field. Going back is Sanchez. He's going to just watch it go! A grand slam for Bryson Stott! He has lifted the roof off the building!
See, this is why no one likes Tom McCarthy or the Phillies. They're liars. There's no roof on that place. Bryson Stott didn't lift the roof. Because there isn't one on Citizens Bank Park. We're not dummies.
I actually have an issue with the Marlins outfielder, and this is one I've had for a long time. The right fielder just stood there and watched the home run. I think you embarrass the pitcher when there's a long home run. The right fielder has to run back to the fence and pretend there might be a play. I hate when they just stand there because it's a massive shot over their head. You know what I'm talking about when the outfielder just famously just they know it's gone.
It's the last game of the season. You think he gives a crap?
I feel like you show up.
Yeah,
I feel like you're showing up the pitcher, and that's what that wasn't even that deep a home run, and the right fielder didn't try and make a play at all.
Well, I mean, it was 15 rows deep. It was not playable.
So you pretend that, I don't know, maybe it's barely going over the fence. You help your pitcher out a little bit.
Give up a home run to Bryson Stott.
Well, you also got to go up like Bo Jackson old highlights into the outfield to try to make pretend like you're making some amazing play.
Yes, I think you climb.
Bo actually made the play, but
you definitely try and jump the fence, which is the greatest play in baseball. Is when you can rob a home run. I just think
Andy
that
Chavez style.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we all knew that ball was way out, but the right fielder can't just stand there. I find that embarrassing.
Yeah, I still think giving it up's the first problem.
Yeah, maybe a bigger problem.
Bryson Stott, the grand slam in the 6th inning. It was the second in the team's postseason history. It capped off a 7-1 win for a 2-game sweep of Miami. Nobody cares about your silver lining, Skip Schumacher.
Most projections had us at probably less than 10% of making the playoffs. I think the culture changed. I believe that there's a new standard in that clubhouse now, and now it's up to them to protect that standard.
Oh, shut up. The only thing worse than the Phillies advancing is they advance to face the Braves in a division series for the second October
really
in a row.
I Angel Hernandez is the umpire in this series.
Oh, wow.
Don't wish that upon anybody.
I really could use that.
I got to be honest, that would be entertaining. I know he would kill me, but
I love it.
Yeah, that would add a little. You guys, I'm pro Angel Hernandez. I'm just fascinated to see what he's going to call.
Angel Hernandez.
I'm fascinated to see what he's going to call.
You're the one.
Honestly,
what are you, Rob Manfred?
If it was
in the front office,
if the Phillies were not playing, that's an added spice. Just an umpire who is going to make any random call at any given time. You don't find that a little bit of extra interest?
No, because Angel Hernandez has got a dinner reservation at 10. That means he's got to ring up guys when the ball's 10 feet outside the strike zone.
Also, talking about rivalry, I mean, the Bryce Harper Angel. I mean, he's the latest guy to go after. That would be fascinating to see. Is he in the postseason? Do we know?
I don't think he is actually. I think that was part of the lawsuit, right? That he kept getting left out of postseason assignments.
He didn't get the opportunities.
Yeah, Pete's a big union guy. You guys will learn this. How about
labor? We like that around here.
How about that union? How does that guy still work? Who's protecting him?
I want that union to manage everything.
I want to be in the umpires union.
Right, yeah. We get jobs for life.
That's right. He's been blowing calls since 1998, at least. Because I know that he blew a big call in 98 against the Mets, but he's been blowing it for at least 20, 25 years.
I don't think I've ever seen Bellotti even anywhere near mad. I think we're getting there a little bit. I think I know your button now.
He cost the Mets the playoffs in 98.
In Atlanta, right?
Flight. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen Pete mad? Have you not met Pete?
Oh, get ready.
What's he get mad about?
Angel Hernandez is what does it.
What does he get mad about? He's just mad.
Wait,
really?
Do you have an NFL counterpart here? Is it Hockley's son or whatever?
I'm a Jet fan, so Robert Saleh is my big.
But there's not another an umpire.
Oh no. Okay. I actually think they do a good job in the NFL.
Oh,
a lot of people
with his big biceps. Makes Pete angry.
No, every umpire and every ref now in the NFL has to look like they're, trying to be Mr. Universe. If you're just a regular flabby guy, did you guys see, and this is no shade, I'm not body shaming him, but the guy who was the referee for the Colorado USC game, he just looked like a normal average dude. And I'm like, man, this guy's really out of shape. He should hit the gym.
Carl Cheffers? You don't have a lot of people have a Carl Cheffers issue.
No,
that guy.
Not yet.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sure
will.
I will at some point.
I do.
I got a problem with Ron Tolbert and those stupid glasses he wears. Get some contacts, bro.
I like them. They're kind of throwback fashionable. It's like a 90s thing.
Looks like you should be walking down the runway with them.
What else?
It's Diamondbacks Dodgers in the other NLDS because Arizona got its sweep in Milwaukee 5-2. The Brewers losing despite scoring first in each game. They led 2-0 last night.
By the way, real quick, everybody running to the altar for Craig Counsell after he gets swept out of the first round of the playoffs.
He'll be the next Mets manager.
Awful.
The Rangers swept the Rays in Tampa 7-1 with Nathan Eovaldi carrying 8 through 6 2/3. And the Twins finished off those Blue Jays 2-0. Here's manager John Schneider wishing they didn't leave their offense in Canada.
Needed to get big hits when we needed to. One run in 2 games, 1 extra base hit isn't going to cut it.
His squad left 9 men on base in each game. They have now lost 7 consecutive playoff games. It's Twins, Astros, Rangers, O's in the ALDSs. All 4 series begin on Saturday. So no playoff baseball today, so you can focus all your attention on the Bears playing football in primetime. They visit the Commanders on Thursday Night Football. The NFL may punish Jamal Adams for yelling at the independent concussion doctor who kept him out of Monday night's game at the Giants. The Seahawks safety apologized via social media yesterday. Monday was his first game in 13 months, and he got hurt on just his 9th play. And Odell Beckham Jr. back at Ravens practice yesterday after missing 2 games with an ankle injury. We're going to need better James Harden sources. This time yesterday, we were expecting Harden to join the Sixers at training camp in Colorado, but not actually participate. But there he was on the court later in the morning. New head coach Nick Nurse saying Harden looked good, did basically everything during the workout. He was gone, though, by the time the media were allowed into the gym. Messi was out again last night. He's now missed 5 of Inter Miami's last 6 matches with that nagging leg issue. It was a 4-1 loss at Chicago. It leaves Miami 5 points from a playoff spot with 3 matches left. In non-Messi MLS matters, LAFC clinching its playoff spot with a 5-1 win over Minnesota United. And Ole Miss now down $175,000 for Saturday's win over LSU. First, it was a $100K fine for storming the field. Yesterday, the SEC tacked on $75,000 because fans threw things on the field during and after the game.
Yeah. A lot of water bottles and stuff.
Question. Yeah. How many people went to the Game 2 of the Rays series?
20,000.
So, Maggie, are you still going to defend them? The national headline was nobody goes to Game 1 of the Rays series, and then the fans don't show up for Game 2, and you're still defending them?
Yeah, they didn't show up for Game 2 because they basically knew that the Rays have been disappointing in the postseason for the last couple of years.
Well, maybe if they had more fans to cheer them on, they would play better.
Oh, that's so lame.
Why can't they throw them a bone and do the first game? I understand it's at 3:00. Game 2, give them a chance to go. Make it at 7. Give the fans in Tampa, give all the 65. Well, they're all retired anyway, so maybe they don't have fans.
Yeah, I don't understand. Why can't people, they make other stadiums at 3:00? This is not that early.
Well, it is true. The reason why they can't be in primetime is because apparently they are the JV squad of Major League Baseball, so they hit them in the middle of the afternoon. I don't know. I just don't blame fans who have to drop everything suddenly to try to pay all this money to get to a baseball game. I'm realistic about that. You can still be a diehard fan and watch your team on TV. It doesn't mean you don't love the team.
So a couple of things, though. Yes, they didn't know the game time until Sunday night, but they knew the game was going to be on Tuesday. They could have begun clearing Tuesday because they knew they were a wild card. That had been locked in. They knew they were the number 1. They knew a game was coming on Tuesday. And I remember my dad took me out of school to go to a Met playoff game in the afternoon in '86. There should be enough people to get 75% of that building full, no matter what the start time is.
I totally understand, but do we need any more evidence here that maybe the people in Tampa just don't really want to come out for baseball all the time?
But that's the problem. That's the point.
It's the lowest attendance in 100 years, 104 years.
Okay.
And they're building a brand new
that's why we're
that
criticizing
no one's going to go to.
I know, but it's can baseball maybe read the room a little bit? It was only a couple years ago they were thinking about splitting the season with Montreal. They've known that the fan base, you got more people come out for a Yankee spring training game because it's all the New York transplants who moved to Tampa who are snowbirds or whatever. You're expecting the fan base to change now?
Well, that's, I think, what we're saying. Why is there a fan base there? Why is there a team there if there's no fan base?
Well, I don't know. I mean, take that up with Major League Baseball. They want to move the A's to Las Vegas. You could have moved the Tampa Bay Rays to Las Vegas. I don't know. I just can't get mad at people. It's their choice what they want to do with their money.
Well, I'm not mad at them.
It doesn't mean they have to go and spend it on a baseball game.
I think the reason we're all pointing it out is because people are starting to wonder, do they want a baseball team? Because there are a lot of cities that want a baseball team and would definitely show up and support their team. So I think we're criticizing the fan base because they clearly aren't into this. So let's move them.
But that's the thing. It's you can't criticize them because they've been giving you this collective shrug ho-hum about the team for years. This isn't new.
Well, isn't there this fantasy that a new stadium will fix that all?
Yeah, that always happens.
And
I think it will.
You do?
I wouldn't want to go to that dump.
Yeah, that
Dump
could be
under
true.
a dome. That's what it should be called. Tropicana Field should be called Dump Under a Dome Stadium.
Okay, but that would make sense for April through September. If you've got to go now, no matter where they're playing. You've got to go to the playoff game.
But who wants to? You're basically like in a greenhouse, like you're a plant
matter.
dying at 3 o'clock, and it's bright and 85 degrees, and you're under a roof. No one wants to go to that.
You're going for the playoffs. You're not going for the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So that's again, you can skip it during the regular season. If 4 people want to go because it's crappy there, I get that. But that's off the table now. You've got to go because you're just a Rays fan.
And
I think it's a fallacy that the stadium matters.
One thing I will tell you, I think having a full house helps the team. Honestly,
Has to.
I think it's this. Fans obviously can't affect anything on the field, but I think they do. I think having 100,000 people screaming, first of all, it scares the officials, so they make calls for the home teams.
Yeah.
I think it inspires the team, so I think it's a real competitive thing.
Okay, can I just tell you, though, the last time that the Rays actually made the World Series was 2020, no fans, middle of the pandemic. Clearly, this team, historically, over the last couple of years, has not cared or done better because fans were in the stadium or not in the stadium.
God forbid they're ever bad. Then like 4 people are going to go.
Well, honestly, they were more used to having no fans. The other teams were adjusting to not having fans, but the Rays are like, this is the normal, the new normal.
They're used to be able to hear a pin drop. Meanwhile, I have to defend the fans. They don't want this team.
What fans? Who are you defending? You're defending nobody. You're defending air.
Yes, I'm defending air.
And it's not really...
And empty seats.
And you also said this thing about 3 o'clock. I'm sorry, I know we got a break, but 3 o'clock baseball games, when I was a kid, the playoff games were in the afternoon, and it was awesome, and all the kids could watch, and the sport grew. And then they moved it to middle of the night, and everybody under 60 left baseball.
Okay, and here's the thing. If when you were a kid, you had TikTok, your phone, YouTube, all that, you might not actually have watched that baseball game. It was the only thing on at that time at 3:30 in the afternoon.
No.
You had to watch it.
There was Gilligan's Island. I was going straight up against Gilligan. MASH. Remember MASH? I don't know. Yeah.
Big ratings
Simpsons.
for Gilligan's Island or playoff baseball. Who's going to win?
Pretty sure Bewitched was on my TV.
Yeah.
Manfred, again, is an idiot because what he should do is give us, Major League Baseball should secure the rights to have a red zone-esque playoff viewing experience. All 4 playoff games at 7 or 8 o'clock. Give us a chance to pop in the action on each game.
I don't know if there's enough action in baseball to
But that's
support
the
a
thing.
red zone.
Who the hell is sitting down to watch at 3 p.m.? Oh, now I want to tune into Blue Jays Twins at 5, and then we have a 7 and a 9 or an 8:30. Just, oh my God.
Yeah, but you'd splinter the audience too much with everybody playing at the same time. They have to be spread out a little bit.
That's why give us a red zone viewing experience, Bogues.
It's like, and we now go to a bottom of the 4th. It is 0-0 with nobody on and nobody out. Okay, 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Doesn't have the same feel as the witching hour. Coming up, again, got a football player taking on the fans. Never a good idea. We'll get to that in a moment. Don't move. It's Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, you can stream the NFL on Westwood One for free, sponsored by AutoZone. All season long, you can listen to every Westwood One broadcast of the NFL live on the NFL app by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports or on the Odyssey app. Get in the zone, AutoZone. AutoZone's free battery testing and charging is available for free at your local AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply. That was a spirited debate about the Rays fans there. I do think that part of our
Only
role,
one ever in history.
I think, if you're a sports radio host, you have to either stick up for the fans or criticize them when they're out of line. I'm obviously from Philly, and we're used to booing everybody. But we show up, Maggie. We're loyal. We're dedicated. I think, honestly, Philly has a great fan base. That's what you need. You need people who are engaged, and I have no problem with booing or yelling at anybody.
Now, listen, the Rays, they've been telling you. What did Oprah say? Maya Angelou, what was the quote? I think it was Maya Angelou, then Oprah took it. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. I don't think fans in Tampa were really jazzed about ever having a baseball team, so they're not showing up. What do you expect? You're going to start yelling at them now?
I thought that was Bill Parcells.
Bill Parcells, Maya Angelou, both top of their craft. Phil is in Pennsylvania. Phil, how are you?
Good. Morning, Maggie. Morning, Perloff.
What's
hey,
up,
bud.
dude? How you doing?
Awesome. I was all ready for the Phillies, but then you mentioned the Thursday night game, and I just went straight to the toilet and puked my guts out. That was nasty.
Come on,
Anyway,
Bears, Commanders. We've seen worse.
I know. That's just bad. But on to the Phillies. Since the Braves haven't really played a meaningful game since, let's say, May, and they've been off for an entire week, do you think Russ is going to be a big deal in their upcoming, series with the Phillies. Phillies have been, playing, trying to get a wild card spot for the past month, played the past couple of games.
Yep.
Do you think Russ will have any issue in the series going forward?
So
that's all I have. Love you guys. Have a great one.
So
Thank you,
the
Phil.
Braves, so they don't repeat last year, did a bunch of simulated games reportedly. I don't know if they were going to. I don't know if they actually did them. They were worried about the same thing, so they've been approaching it all differently. All I can say is, Phil, I hope that the rust just destroys them. And they have no idea what they're doing.
I mean, it's a real thing in baseball. It's funny because
Seems like it, yeah.
every other sport, it's a massive advantage to have some rest, like specifically the NFL. Now you only have only the top seeds gets a bye in the NFL. It's been proven that is like so incredibly important to get that sort of rest. Meanwhile, baseball, it's the kiss of death because you're so into your routines and it throws guys off so much.
Yeah, I feel like basketball, some teams have had problems with that rest too. I'm not quite sure in the current format why that would matter.
Considering load management, I thought rest is the only thing that matters in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, I actually follow this. People trying to predict postseason baseball, it's one of the hardest things to do in sports.
Yeah.
It's easier to pick a golf tournament. They always get it wrong. And I think that's one of the reasons why. It's not just talent. It's a rhythm sport. As you said, guys are so routine oriented.
So we're talking about the fans and we're talking about what's going on in Tampa. Right here in New York, Evan Neal, who is a young offensive lineman for the New York Giants, decided to take on the fans. He was asked about fans booing when they played against the when they played against who'd they play last week? The Seahawks, thank you. He said, why would a lion concern himself with the opinion of sheep? He said to NJ.com, the person that's commenting on my performance, what does he do? Flip hot dogs and hamburgers somewhere. Now, he later apologized on social media, saying the frustration got the best of him. The fact that people and athletes are still doing this is mind-boggling to me. What do you do? Like, my life's so great, you've got to go back to your life, fan. I can't believe that athletes could be this short-sighted and blockheaded that they are still doing this kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Who do you think pays that huge salary you have, Evan Neal? That's why. And particularly, I understand that he's sensitive. He's been getting ripped a lot. He's a young player. But the word in here is not good. Like, honestly.
Flipping hamburgers? How elitist do you sound?
Sheep?
Yeah.
I mean, I do think it's a delicate balance. Obviously, sometimes you feel stupid as a fan. Why are you putting all this energy and emotion into these grown men who are millionaires who are playing a football game? Like, I think we all have to buy into the fact that overall it's pretty stupid. But you can't just if you call us sheep and say the whole thing's a joke, then why are we going to pay for the tickets? Why am I paying for Sunday ticket if you think we're sheep?
Well, and also, I'm sorry, It's not college football anymore. You're not at Alabama anymore where people are going to cheer you and treat you like a god no matter what happens. And also you win all the time because you're at Alabama. But this is the pros, man. People are going to boo you. You're going to get ripped at times. And that's part of handling the pressure at the next level. And the other crazy thing is you got to know where you're playing. I know the Giants made the playoffs last year, but the 5 years before that, they were literally one of the worst teams in the NFL, and those fans kept showing up. So know your fan base here.
I mean, I think that Alabama fan base is probably a little even more intense than the Giants fan base. You might have more pressure in Alabama, but he actually has been really bad.
He blocked his own guy during the game. He blocked Darren Waller, is on his own team.
I think I'm overjudging him, but I actually thought, I don't think this guy's going to turn it around. Like, I'm not sure with that attitude that he's going to be a good player.
This dude might be in trouble. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Coming up, man, one story that I am just over. We've officially jumped the shark, y'all. We'll get to that in a minute. Glad to be with you. Maggie Perloff, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
He thinks Frisbee golf is the sport of the future. She's sticking with football. They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
It's a bad sign when you've even lost me in the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift situation. I'm over it, Perloff. I'm over it. I don't think this relationship is real. And now the fact that Kelce is out here telling the NFL that they need to calm down because they're leaning into it too much. When Travis Kelce is saying this while he's dating the most dating, air quotes. He's dating the most famous pop star maybe in the world. He's got every commercial under the sun. He's talking about this on his own podcast, and the guy has hosted Saturday Night Live. I'm sorry, I can't hear from Travis Kelce that everyone else has to stop getting some shine and glow off of this thing when he is using it as the biggest ladder to get to the top of the famous people power rankings.
First of all, he had all that stuff before Taylor's. Not a single thing that you just mentioned is because of Taylor Swift, is it?
But the intensity about who he is, and like and to a broader audience,
I know
he's loving this.
But he got all those commercials before her. He didn't need her to get everything he wanted. The other thing too is he is mad at the NFL, I think, or he's not mad, but he's saying NFL's got to chill. I used to work at the NFL in the 2000s, and there's two things they wanted. They desperately wanted to expand to China. That was number one.
Wow.
There's so many jerseys they think they could sell.
Yeah.
And number two, they want to increase their women population, fan base.
Yeah.
So they think, oh my gosh, we got Taylor Swift. We're going to expand the fan base here. And they sucked all the fun out of this relationship. And I think that's what Travis is talking about. They don't need to show her 20 times. It becomes so annoying.
Let's hear from Travis. This was the New Heights podcast, of course, with him and Jason. Says the NFL's overdoing it.
I think it's fun when they show who all is at the game. You know, I think it brings a little bit more to the atmosphere, brings a little bit more to what you're watching. But at the same time, I think
they're overdoing it.
They're overdoing it a little bit for sure, especially my situation.
Right?
I think they're just trying to have fun with it.
Yeah, overdoing it. I feel like Kelce is the last person who can talk to any of us about anyone overdoing anything. I mean, I'm in the rare position to defend the NFL here because, Kelce, you date Taylor Swift, you're asking for this. You put it out there that you want to meet her, the friendship bracelets, all that stuff. You can't turn around now and be like, hey, guys, this is a little too much. I know I asked you to pay attention to me, and I've been begging you to pay attention to me for years and years, but now you are, and you know what? It's making me feel a little suffocated. I think it's a little too much.
First of all, what he actually said.
That's the implication.
What he actually said was pretty mild there. He's like, oh, yeah, they're just trying to have fun with it. I don't know why you're yelling at Travis for that. That was a pretty middle-of-the-road statement.
I'm just saying it's disingenuous. Nobody wants the camera more than Travis Kelce. He's a great player. He's an all-time great player. This is nothing about him, but for him to be like, to tell anybody to even sniff that anyone else has to calm down on looking for attention and publicity, Travis Kelce, last person to be even implying that.
Did we hear the same soundbite right there? I'm not sure what Travis Kelce did say. He said, like, yeah, it's fun when they show who's in the fan. Maybe they did a little too much here. And Jason, who's a tough guy, said this is way too much. I thought Travis was more middle of the road there. I think you're right. He is winking. He
started
saying,
to do this like, hey,
I think
guys,
he does secretly like it.
Pay it, like, don't, hey, a little too much, a little too on me about this. It's like you're dating Taylor Swift. Everything, this is an avalanche and a tidal wave that's not going to stop for a long time.
But then at the end, he did say, I think they're just trying to have fun. He was almost defending the NFL there. I do think what's really under the surface is there are a lot of tough guys who think this is, taking away from, I'll say it, the macho-ness of football. And I think Jason is the ultimate tough guy. He's a center, he's a lineman. And a lot of football fans are like, I want to watch football. I don't want to watch Taylor Swift jumping around in the box.
Right. And this offends people as football fans. I just think it's become too much. I don't think that it cuts to the core of like, you can't enjoy the experience. I'm more just rolling my eyes at it now because A, I don't think the relationship is genuine. I think it's one big publicity stunt. And two, like, it's just, yes, when the NFL starts to lean in, it's almost like now your parents like it. It's like, oh, it was cool until mom and dad started listening
they
to
desperately wanted Taylor Swift to do halftime forever. It's been she had a problem with Coke and Pepsi and couldn't do it. So now they think that it's a cheat code to get Taylor Swift into our product. We can't get her at halftime of the Super Bowl, obviously. So we're like, well, we'll do this. We got Taylor Swift. Who is it this year?
Usher. It's going to rock.
Yeah, I know, but it's not like...
Yeah, I know. It's not
they got Usher.
It's not 2004.
Yeah, what is going on with that, by the way?
Isn't it 2004? Everything's coming back.
Why are they always 5 to 15 years behind on who the halftime act is? But whatever. Bring back Bruno Mars, have him do every year. So I think that you feel the marketing.
Yes. I said, we feel like marks. We feel like it's a little too, it's just jump the shark, as our friend John Hine would say.
So what about this fact that Travis Kelce is doing all this in season? Is this something that's going to take away from his production or from the team? Like, do you think that someone could argue that as a professional, he should have maybe waited till the offseason to start this whirlwind romance?
I mean, I don't think so. We'd have to see some evidence of that on the field. And I can't say that just like a mediocre second half against the Jets is enough to say that this has somehow become a distraction. I don't think so. I think it's Kelce, and maybe this is even just with famous people in general. I understand that people have a right to privacy. They do, but you beg us to pay attention to you. And then when we do, then it's like, all right, guys, gotta really respect my privacy here. It's like if you really wanted to respect privacy, and I guess you fall in love with who you fall in love with, but you don't go after Taylor Swift. It's not like they met at a party and fell in love, by waiting for the bathroom. He was like actively courting her on social media and every platform possible. She decides that she doesn't want to go out with him, and it's like, maybe everyone should just calm down. It's like, calm down. You've been whipping us into a frenzy over this thing, and you presumably are loving the results. This is not just a Kelce thing. I think sometimes celebrities do this in general, and it bothers me.
Well, Travis Kelce's always liked attention.
Yeah.
He had his own dating show.
Oh, no doubt.
He's very...
Twerking in the end zone?
Yeah, he's very visible during a game. He hosted Saturday Night Live. How many pro football players have hosted Saturday Night Live? 4, maybe?
Yeah, right.
So...
He did a great job, too.
Yeah, he's hysterical. He's going to be in movies when this is all over. It is smart, by the way. Will you at least give him credit? He has upped his fame to a huge level.
Without a doubt. By a power of 10.
I think that they take this relationship further just to prove all the doubters like you that it is real. I honestly think
walking down the aisle.
I think Taylor's going to read a million places. Oh, this is so fake. Nobody was writing that about her relationship with the 1975, the band guy, the musicians,
whoever it was. Yeah,
I don't think people were doubting that. But the marketing of the NFL is going to make everybody doubt this relationship. And I think to prove that they're wrong, she's going to marry this dude.
It's a spite marriage.
Oh yeah, you say this is fake, Maggie Gray. Well, when we walk down the aisle, what are you going to say?
Well, imagine the genetics of of a kid they would have.
Tall. Very
Kelsey's an NFL athlete, and Taylor Swift has like the longest back I've ever seen. She's what, 6'1"? She looks like it.
Is she really?
I think she's 5'10". Yeah, she's super tall. So back to the idea about this is offending men, because this is the part of it. I'll rip on the celebrity part, and you're asking for our attention, and then you're telling us to turn away. That seems so hypocritical. This didn't bother me as a football fan, but then again, I'm not a guy, so I wasn't offended by Taylor being there, but it seems like some men are.
Are you offended when people are not focusing on the game and they're focusing on the celebrity around? I think I'm not either. I think there's an argument that like, hey, this is about football. This is supposed to be this production that we're watching on NBC is supposed to be about football,
right? The game's
not
enough.
about entertainment. This is not this is not all about Hollywood. This is about the X's and O's and offensive line play and big hits.
Do we miss a play? Like.
No, that game stunk anyway.
I know.
Well, actually, it got pretty good in the second half.
Yeah, well, Tirico said we had so much more Taylor stuff planned, but then a game broke out. I mean, he's obviously saying that a bit tongue in cheek, but I never felt like I missed a play. I didn't feel like the announcers were doing anything too crazy.
I do. My actual issue is the way that the NFL is clearly sitting in an office somewhere saying, man, we got to take advantage of this marketing opportunity. So that's what really bothers me.
It's like a bunch of suits sitting around a round table.
Been in those. You've probably been in those meetings too. It's like, wait, did you see the social reaction to Taylor Swift at the game? And
like get our youngest people in a room, put them together, tell us what this means.
Okay, and it is a little obnoxious that Taylor Swift just started this relationship and has gone to 2 games, and she's obviously buying into this 100%.
They're advertising for her movie at every commercial break. Guys, this is not real. It's not real. And I guess that's the part of it's a little bothersome. It's like, don't try to feed me something that seems really disingenuous.
When you date a guy, do you usually go to all his, when you were younger, did you go to all his games immediately?
I don't think I ever dated an athlete like that. My husband was an athlete, but we weren't dating then.
You never dated a high school athlete when you were in high school?
You missed some great opportunities to wear that varsity coat on a Friday, crisp fall Friday.
I know.
Oh, like Friday Night Lights?
Or you get to wear that jersey. That was always the big thing, where you wear whoever you're dating's jersey.
Well, in our high school, the football players themselves would wear their own jerseys on Friday.
And then you give them the away jersey then.
Oh, I don't think we had those.
That was like a thing in middle, because I played soccer in high school, but I played football in middle school. And the girl I was dating at the time, she's like, "Can I wear your jersey?"
I don't think we had home and away. We were no frills.
Jeez, would Binghamton not have any money?
Wait, you didn't have a white jersey and a color jersey?
No, they must have had an away jersey, now that I think about it. That's crazy. I don't think they were letting girlfriends wear it, though.
I'll tell you one thing that women do not come to. When you're a mathlete, you do not get you don't get a lot of
get a jacket?
Female support.
Doing work problems in the stands.
Yeah.
It's like you, me, plus sign, equals,
Yeah.
heart.
My high school was a version of American Pie, except it was Pi 3.14227.
That's a good dad
The
joke.
thing with the whole Kelce Taylor Swift thing, though, it's like we're seeing the capitalism right in front of our face. We're seeing how the sauce gets made.
Exactly. Well said.
Like, lie to us.
As a guy, I'm not offended because, I mean, I don't know. Who was like the biggest male pop star of the last 15 years? Like, I don't know, Justin Timberlake in the early 2000s? Like, whoever it was, if it was a male, it'd be the same exact thing. So the fact that it's Taylor Swift, I get that she is uber famous. I think it is obnoxious that, I think the one thing that people really get mad at is whenever the touchdown, Noah Gray, that the Chiefs scored, it wasn't even Kelce. And the first shot they go to after the end zone is her. So I think that's what pisses people off.
Yeah.
But
what do they want? They want Andy Reid putting a one finger in the air, going for one? Like, what do they...
Oh, yeah.
That's compelling.
So you're in the
TV.
truck and you're director. What do we cut to now? We have Taylor Swift jumping up and down, or we have Andy Reid looking at his playbook to decide if he should go for two.
Talking to Matt Nagy on the sideline.
And Blake Lively is next to her.
Yeah, right. Blake Lively is jumping around so much she's almost falling out of her top.
Yeah,
but
Bilotti's not even showing the play. Like, what play? Oh, someone just scored a touchdown? Sorry, the camera was on Blake Lively.
Football.
Look, I have no problem with Taylor Swift. If Blake Lively wants to start going to every game and they want to show her after every touchdown, I got zero problems with it.
This is just a preference, yeah.
Look, this is, and Kelce, you said he was like middle of the road if the NFL's ever doing it. Of course he's not going to say anything. You know how much money he is making off of this publicity stunt of a relationship?
No, what I always
Millions.
find.
He might make more money off of Taylor Swift than he ever will playing in the NFL.
No, it's even worse.
Yeah.
When Roger Goodell is sitting next to somebody who's clearly an important relationship to the NFL, like I think it was Jeff Bezos and Roger Goodell were sitting. Was that week one?
Yep.
The first Amazon game. That was off-putting. To see the guy who runs the biggest company in the world and the NFL sitting next to each other at a game, that was like an axis of evil in the stands.
You know what is funny about that? Whenever Goodell is sitting next to someone who's not like a former player, like sometimes he's sitting next to Jerry Rice or something.
Sure.
That's cool. But like whenever, I'm never envious of. I want to be as far away from those small talk conversations as humanly possible. I'm never like, I wonder what they're talking about. Goodell and Bezos. Like, no thanks. I'm good just being right over here, having no clue what that awkward conversation.
Or sometimes he's sitting next to someone about some social cause that the NFL's pretending they're into. It's all so manufactured.
Yeah, it's like the State of the Union.
Yeah,
it's like we happen to have the military wives here.
None of it feels real, which I think is actually, I think we got to it. I think that's a core issue. Just the whole production feels totally fake.
Which is funny because sports and what happens on the field is kind of like the last real thing we have. Like, we joke around about the script and all of that, but, like, it's the only thing left that we have that we feel like we don't know the ending and the outcome. It's not manufactured or pre-planned. And I'm sure Saints fans would probably get upset with me about that. Unless you get a terrible BS, no pass interference call. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the last thing we have that feels like it hasn't been totally prepackaged.
Well, it's really the only thing that matters on live TV anymore. That's why cable television still exists, because what else? Everything else is streaming, and I totally agree. And I don't think it takes away from the act. Once the season gets going and we're in the playoffs, I think people are going to be more focused on the college football. I mean, I've had the same argument with college football. I feel like Deion has gotten too much attention. No one's talking about, hey, who's going to win the national championship this year? That feels like an afterthought compared to how entertaining all the Colorado stuff is.
I know.
But I think as the season goes on and we get toward the playoffs in both sports, I think we'll focus more on the game. I hope. But if Travis Kelce does well and he's still with Taylor Swift, I don't know.
I mean, imagine they procreate, like you said, and then we're going to have to follow the kid.
Oh, yeah. And I would just say this. Does the NFL really care if people are getting outraged, whether it's real or not? Because how many millions of people are actually going to stop watching? But how many more millions of fans have they gotten in the female, teen, young demographic because of this?
Yeah. It's like, are they getting them? Maybe they are. I mean,
yes.
I think they probably
they absolutely are.
They buy a jersey.
Do they stay with the game after they break up?
Well, that's why you're going to keep getting 37 shots of Taylor Swift during a game.
No, listen, Taylor can just work her way around every team if she wants to. Who does she want to date next? I mean, guys are going to be lining up. I'm looking at the Chiefs' schedule quickly. So this weekend at Minnesota, do you think Taylor's showing up to watch the 1-3 Vikings take on the
Gorgeous
Chiefs?
stadium. I don't know. She's from Western Pennsylvania. I think she'd like Minnesota.
I think
people in Minnesota buy albums.
I think she's smart in terms of how much money and how much publicity she's getting off of this. So if she's not doing a concert, or if she does not add a other pre-planned event for her, or a movie, or one of her songs, she is going to be at that game.
I will show bet you she's not there.
Yeah?
I don't think she's showing up to this one.
I'll take that money.
Not because of the Minnesota Vikings. Nothing against Minnesota. I think that it's been a lot. I think people like me and a lot of people are questioning whether this is real. It's starting to feel a little force-fed. You got to pull back just a little bit. You got to take it away from us, and then maybe we'll crave it.
Well, I think if she was going to show up, it would have been front page news already. So it's Thursday. Wouldn't we have heard that she's going to be there?
That's fine. I'll take the plus odds. You want to give me plus odds on this, Maggie?
No.
You're in.
You don't get plus odds. This is all even.
No. I think he does, because we would. I think you're in the favorite position. I don't think she's showing up, because we would know by now.
But we didn't know she was going to the Jets game for sure until the day before.
No. That was
sure.
a huge headline on Thursday. Taylor Swift's supposed to be there, and Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be there.
I know, and Aaron Rodgers got real back burner for Taylor Swift. I mean, a little bit when he's throwing the pass down on the field. But.
And how about that? He got so jealous that he started calling Kelce Mr. Pfizer, even when the team he plays for is
by Johnson & Johnson. Yeah, one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the universe. He got called on that one pretty quick.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there on both sides. I like your point that Aaron Rodgers was jealous of all the attention Taylor Swift was getting. Had to say something.
I feel like Aaron Rodgers has got to be upset that he didn't think of this.
No, first of all,
he's dated so many famous people. He just didn't go to the top of the food chain.
He's never dated somebody who's bigger than him, though. He's always sort of been smart about it. Like Shailene Woodley was not. I think if anybody was going to date Taylor Swift, it was definitely Travis Kelce. There is no doubt. He's the single NFL player. If you were going to say of everybody here who's going to make a move on Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce is definitely the guy.
Yeah, probably.
Because he's a cheeseball like that. I mean, it's all about he's so goofy. And his podcast is awesome, by the way. Honestly, if you listen to those two guys, they're two of the most likable people. I don't know if it's a total act. Maybe he's a jerk behind the scenes. But they seem so nice.
I don't think it's an act.
I mean,
I think you get the real relationship. Don't you kind of feel like you get to know a little of what Payton and Eli are really like by the Manning cast? Like, you got to get their dynamic.
Oh, I don't know about that. You think Payton's really like that? Aw, shucks, Payton?
I think that him and Eli, I think that's probably representative of their relationship.
Wow, that I don't know. I feel like I think Payton puts on an act. I don't think.
Well, yeah, he's performing a bit for the camera, but like their dynamic together.
Yeah,
it's like Eli's the more reserved one, Payton's the more talkative one.
Yeah,
that probably squares in real life.
I don't think they're really good friends off field, right? Isn't that the rumor?
Well, Kevin Hart had an epic appearance last season on the Manning
What did he say?
Well, he's a massive Eagles fan, so he was destroying Eli Manning in a way that was just too good. And he said on the air, I know you guys aren't close. You're not going to be spending Thanksgiving together. And they were like, what? And getting kind of nervous. And Kevin Hart said, I know you're not close. I know you're not spending Thanksgiving together, because if you were close, you'd be in the same room doing this.
Ooh,
it was a burn.
That cuts deep.
It was a burn. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Speaking of things that might be burning, Perloff's stomach tomorrow around 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. That is when he will pay off his bet that he lost to me about whether Joe Burrow would have a bigger contract than Justin Herbert. Perloff lost. That means he has to eat a bowl of Skyline chili with no hands tomorrow. In the chat, Spencer Seeks suggesting that pork rinds instead of oyster crackers could make Skyline chili an Epicurean delight.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah,
pork rinds, the salty pork with the chili. I don't know, 8 o'clock in the morning, but
why not? The pork rinds, I don't think, is the problem at 8 a.m. I think it's the chili is kind of heavy for that time of the day.
I don't have hands. There's melted cheese on top. How do I eat the cheese?
That's a you problem.
Because I don't understand. You guys torture yourselves. Why did you have to do it with no hands?
That was the bet. What's the point? Just eat a bowl of Skyline chili? That's not a bet.
Yeah, come on.
We had a bet.
That's a bet on how well your stomach is going to function.
But that's the aftermath. That's not for the cameras, hopefully.
We used to do bets at Dan Patrick Show all the time, and they still do it, and they're really fun. But every time, a million people would email in, shave an eyebrow. That was always like, what should the stakes be? Shave an eyebrow. Nobody wants to shave an eyebrow. This is fine. Eating chili with no hands is fine. We both have our eyebrows.
That's also like, this bet is something that's maybe 12 hours of your life at max that you're feeling this. Shave an eyebrow. It takes like 2.5 months to grow back.
Yeah. So this is a good thing. Just eating a bowl of chili, what's up with that, Pat? That's nothing.
Yeah, that doesn't cut it.
All right. Yeah, you're right. I've never been an extreme bet guy, though. So
just wait. 855-212-4CBS. If Taylor doesn't show up at the Vikings game.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
Pat, when you were shirtless in Mraz's backyard at the DA show,
oh yeah,
and
did you get something poured
you
over
didn't
your
lose
head?
a bet? That was just by choice?
Was that you?
I think, unfortunately, that was by choice. Now, that was under the pretense that Marie in Denver, who's a show listener, would be coming. And then it turned into be 75-year-old Gordon from Vancouver.
I know.
So that was a bit of a twist. I got thrown through a loop there.
What a moment.
How long did that take to get out of your hair?
Not long. I think I jumped in Sean Mraz's pool right afterwards and then took a shower at his sister's house down the block.
Man, that is a real village to raise a boil. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. All right, we get the latest headlines from last night. What did you miss in the baseball playoffs? We get that for you next. Don't move. Maggie Perloff, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Football preview is sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. The Al Michaels Classic. The winless Bears head to Washington to face the Commanders. Chicago only a 6-point underdog on FanDuel as Matt Eberflus's seat gets warmer and warmer. Meanwhile, the Commanders took Perloff's Eagles to overtime in Week 4 but couldn't put the Birds away. Washington has lost 2 in a row. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio. Poll question is up at Maggie and Perl on the tweets, which is, will Taylor Swift show up to the Vikings game? Chiefs at Vikings. That's a 4:25 start. I say no. Pat Boyle says yes. Go and vote. Here's something else in my favor. Once they get past Minnesota this Sunday, then Thursday, October 12th, a short week for the Chiefs, where they're home to welcome the Denver Broncos on a Thursday night. That is where you could see another Taylor appearance. Because would it shock you if she's got some kind of thing going with Amazon? No way.
Well, the Kelce's obviously have a huge Amazon thing. So I think the Kelce marketing machine, which seems to be gearing up. I mean, Donna is everywhere.
She is.
Yeah, I think the Minnesota game before, I think that could be a shootout. Kansas City's offense hasn't done much, but the Vikings defense is bad. I think she likes offense. She's probably a Justin Jefferson fan.
Got him on her
huge fantasy implications of this game.
That
could be a really fun game. I'm into that. You know the Vikings are going to make it interesting.
I love that you think that Taylor Swift is here to watch 1 second of football. If she was really a football fan, she'd be an Eagles fan, right?
I think she is sort of an Eagles fan. We don't really care. We don't need Taylor Swift. We got Mike Trout.
As far as your
the
Philly
Eagles fandom,
celebrity fan base, you got Bradley Cooper?
Yeah, we got Bradley Cooper in the stands.
McElhenney.
Rob McElhenney, who actually smartly killed Ryan Reynolds for not paying attention to the game for 1 second in the box. Did you guys notice that last night? Yeah, but people haven't talked about the fact that Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds were there. That could be a thing in itself, but Taylor's so big that it's like there's no other celebrity. Like the NFL is setting itself up. Now they can't bring other celebrities because they're all going to pale in comparison to Taylor Swift.
It's true. They peaked already. Andrew Bogusch is here. He's got headlines for us. Good morning, Bogusch.
Good morning again. So we might need to learn how to say his last name since his Diamondbacks are still playing postseason baseball. It's Torey Lavello?
Rudolph?
Mr. Lavello has a potty mouth, BTW.
Listen, this is part of the journey. We're not there yet. Let's enjoy it. Let's embrace it. Let's party. And a connected team is a dangerous team. We are dangerous. Let's party all day.
That's 4. 4 bleeps in 17 seconds. The Diamondbacks partying after a 2-game sweep of the Brewers in Milwaukee. They scored 4 times in the 6th, including Ketel Marte's go-ahead 2-run single to erase a 2-0 hole. They win 5-2. It's their first NLDS since 2017, and it begins Saturday at Dodger Stadium. The Phillies claim the spot.
Wait, hold on one second, Bogus. Sorry. I love how Tory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what was that first cut?
That's from Billy Madison. Rarudo. We can't do cursive Z's.
Yeah.
Yes. I just didn't hear it.
I can't pronounce Tory Lamo's last name. And so I love how he was basically not just giving directives there, like, not only are you going to bleep and party together as a team, he's basically like, we're all going to Jimmy's O'Sullivan's bar. It's like he wanted to micromanage the partying, which, by the way, they might still be awake.
That does sound like the drunken speech you give when you're trying to rally everybody to go streaking.
Yeah.
We're going to go streaking. We're going to bleep and party.
Are you guys down?
Who's coming with me?
Are you guys down with celebrating a wild card round win?
Yes.
Of course. Oh, I'm with you, Bilotti. No. The Rangers did it right. They're like, we've been here before. They had like 1 beer and said, we're on to the next round.
The Rangers, they haven't been
not
anywhere
for a while.
Well, who was
No, you were right. It was the Rangers. They were being
they beat
very
the Rays.
they were being very business about it.
Yeah.
But it's funny because they really haven't been to the postseason in a while. But
what was that big Rangers run? Was it that long ago?
Yeah,
like 6-7 years ago.
It was probably like 2010, 11.
But they got yelled at over the weekend because they clinched a wild card spot or playoff spot and then partied Saturday night and then lost Sunday to miss the division. And someone was like, somebody should have went to sleep last night. And even their GM was like, leave us alone. But I thought they had a party yesterday. I thought I saw Bruce Bochy pop in champagne.
They may have.
Was it subdued
But
yesterday?
it was, well, they said, they tried to keep it short. Like, can you imagine winning an NFL wildcard game and popping champagne? That's what I mean.
But that's not an NFL tradition. The clubhouse champagne is a baseball thing.
Yeah, because it's baseball and you can get hammered in the middle of the season, which you cannot do in football.
And they got 2 days off. They should have partied.
I just think it's
like Wade Boggs.
Yeah, act like you've been there before. I mean, this is a sport where you can smoke in the dugout. I just feel like
I would say this: it is a 162 game season. They're playing every day, so now and again, like every other sport, only one team's winning. So you get a chance to celebrate a win, to go into the next round. You know the postseason's only lasting like 3 weeks maximum. I have zero problem with it. I'd say celebrate.
Well, the one thing is, I don't want people, if you are pro-celebration, then you can't be anti-participation trophy. And like, I grew up in the participation trophy era. Don't blame it on us. They were giving out 6th place awards for some reason when I was growing up. But if you're okay with celebrating that, then you got to be cool with participation trophy culture.
I don't see that.
This is like, if you're celebrating the wild card with a champagne bath, then you're essentially saying, congrats to us. We made it this far. It's not just about championships. The whole Mamba mentality, Kobe Bryant stuff, you don't ascribe to that.
Yeah, but that'd be like having a champagne shower after you lose that.
Or
that would be
before
like the
opening
participation
day.
trophy.
Well, only the Mets simulate the winning the title before opening day.
They accomplished something. They won a series to advance. Why can't that's not
they
participation?
they won a best of 3 wild card series.
They didn't lose it.
Okay, but they didn't win the World Series.
You said tradition. It used to be that getting to the MLB playoffs was an impossible thing to do. There were 4 teams, and now that half the league gets there, I don't think you should be celebrating these mini series.
Win the division, championship series, World Series. That's it, for me at least.
See, I'm actually with Perloff on this one. I love the images and scenes, and I love all the curse words and the F-bombs and stuff. But it's true. It looks like they're celebrating the World Series, and we still got a month left in the playoffs.
They're not having a parade.
Yeah, there's no parade. There's no trophy.
It sounds like they would if they could. If it was a tradition, you guys would be fine with it.
Oh, come on. I hate traditions.
Wait,
I think
actually.
Is anyone here a Yankees fan?
Pat hates Christmas.
Well, if there was, Yankees fans feel like the whole season was a disaster if they don't make it to the World Series, right? So, do they actually do all that stuff after a wild card win?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think they do.
They did.
Yeah,
they did. But weren't the fans disappointed if they didn't go all the way? I mean, maybe that's maybe in the late '90s. But.
Yeah, that's more like a Jeter thing. Or I guess Aaron Judge talks about that. I think all guys do celebrate. It just does look a little bit odd.
And what if you're the defense, like the Astros? Are the Astros going to go nuts if they win this next series?
Yeah. What did the Phillies do last night? I'm sure they had champagne.
That's a Tuesday for that Phillies team.
So it's okay for them.
Astros go hit some garbage cans, get excited.
Also, we're not naive to think they're not partying during the season. Of course, their guys are letting off steam or whatever during the season. You can still go out and celebrate it. It's just the public display like that is so weird.
Yeah, I mean, football, you just want to recover and be ready for the next week. Like, there's no partying in an NFL. I mean, there's like high fives, but they're not popping champagne.
They probably go out that night.
Well, in football, you got to be careful, though. Like, a lot of guys don't do much partying in season. Your body's got to recover really fast. It's a little more intense. That's all I'm saying.
I would love to see the champagne bath during a wild card round in the NFL. That would be hilarious. To watch
Daniel Jones pouring over Saquon Barkley last year.
Hockey teams don't do it every round.
No.
It's just for the Stanley Cup. And basketball, too. It's a baseball thing.
I have a feeling hockey players get their partying.
No, but they don't do locker room.
It's not the public display.
Oh, so it really is only baseball.
And hockey players need to conserve energy because that playoff goes about 10 months.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a lot of energy.
Also, champagne in your beard. Ugh.
No.
When the Bills beat Skylar Thompson, the Dolphins, in the wild card round last year, 34-30, which was an incredibly close game for Skylar Thompson, did you celebrate? Did you pop champagne?
I drank a Miller Lite. It was
Shotgun it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Bogus, what else you got?
Where were we? Oh, yeah, the Phillies. They beat the Marlins 7-1. Bryson Stott, a grand slam, 7 scoreless from Aaron Nola. In their defense, there were more Rays fans at Game 2 with the Rangers. Just over 20 grand saw their team's season end with a 7-1 loss to those Rangers. Kevin Cash's team has now lost 7 consecutive playoff games, had a 33-inning scoring drought until that single run in the 7th yesterday.
The guys that we had out there were able to do better than what we did today. We'd like to continue playing, but I can't put my finger on one specific thing why we've been eliminated pretty quickly.
Crickets. The Rangers now deal with the Orioles. He's out of answers.
Oh, my goodness.
Nobody's listening.
This team could have won the World Series if it wasn't for him in 2020. And he has no answers now?
Rangers, Orioles, Twins, Astros in the ALDS. Minnesota sent the Blue Jays home 2-0 in their Game 2 yesterday. It's the Twins' first series win in 21 years. Where's Chase Claypool, an unhappy quarterback, a disappearing defensive coordinator, and now Thursday Night Football, let the good times roll in Chicago. Those winless Bears take the national stage tonight, visiting the
Commanders
at 8:15 Eastern.
Commanders.
I'm never going to say that team name again. I'm just going to have this play.
Commanders.
Is the country familiar with Joe Beningo?
They should be.
Is that who that was? Actually, I did not know that.
That was from his most recent work of his Tiki takedown.
Yeah.
That Tiki couldn't have a Zach Wilson opinion because he was working the Bills and Commanders game, so he couldn't have watched the Jets game.
I
Zach
know.
Wilson be
It's
terrible.
funny.
Oh,
you've got to
Commanders.
The Commanders.
You got to bring Joe Beningo along slowly. Joe Beningo is. Let me paint the picture for the national audience. This is somebody who's still rocking the Joe Namath-inspired Fu Manchu mustache because he is such a big fan of Joe Namath. I don't think Joe knows that there's DVR. He doesn't know that you can watch these games after the game. Tiki could have watched that game 4 times since he got in the studio.
He knows it's there, but he doesn't use it.
By the way, that's not true. That's not really a homage to Joe Namath. His hairstyle?
Are you crazy?
Well, really?
Of course it is. He's the biggest Jets fan besides
45 years ago.
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
That's all he's got. And it's so significant that the last time he was here, he was wearing a Namath T-shirt jersey tucked into cargo shorts with matching jet green knee-high tube socks.
Oh, yeah. That is the gold standard look there.
And in this video where he's yelling at Tiki for not doing his job, he's wearing a Jets hat, a Jets sweatshirt, and there's a framed Namath jersey over his shoulder.
Yeah.
He has more Jets gear than Robert Saleh.
Who he texts with, apparently, all the time. Played golf with him. Yeah.
Imagine
Beningo's
that.
diehard.
Imagine the head coach of a team talking to a walking caricature of a person.
No.
Walking what?
Caricature.
That's not how you say that word.
No.
Caricature.
There you go.
All right, sorry, Bogues. You're going to teach me on English now?
I mean, somebody should have.
I thought you were doing like the way Joe Beningo did Commanders. That's what I thought you were doing.
No, but Joe Beningo, this is so funny. We're talking about Joe. He does pronounce a word differently than I've ever heard anyone else pronounce it before. When you give someone props, a word that starts with a K, you give them
kudos.
He calls it cadoos.
Yeah. So does Jameis Winston.
Who else does it?
Jameis Winston.
Cadoos?
Cadoos to me, right? Isn't that what Jameis said one time? I think we have.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Kudos. It's like, and Joe's from northern New Jersey, but like it's like somebody made like a Staten Island robot accent in the lab and then slapped it on a man.
Yeah. Cadoos.
Commanders.
Never heard that. I've never heard cadoos before.
Bogue, can you play it again?
Commanders.
The Commanders.
How do you lose ER like completely there?
What a human. You guys will get to see him. He's here in the morning often.
Listen, I used to work.
I've seen him a bunch.
I used to host a show right after Joe Beningo.
Right. Yeah. But now you can see aging, more angry Joe.
How did Joe react to Aaron Rodgers' injury? I don't think I've seen him since then.
I'm surprised he's still awake.
He was thrilled.
He's out here. Oh, did he get his hopes way up that this was going to be the year for the Jets?
I think he said if it's not this year, it'll never happen. And then it was over within 4 plays.
Well, there we have it, and it's
if
never
it's
going to
not
happen.
this year, then when? Oops. Other NFL news from yesterday. The Broncos, by the way, have not yet released Randy Gregory. He is done in Denver no matter what. But Sean Payton said yesterday they'll try to trade him first, but no deal then means Gregory gets released. The Chargers cutting bait with corner J.C. Jackson, sending him back to the Patriots for a late-round pick swap. Jackson has been unhealthy, had some off-field issues in a year plus in L.A. The Bulls paid him a lot after he picked off 17 passes over his last 2 seasons in New England. Donovan Mitchell said yesterday he will not sign any extension with the Cavs until next summer at least. Right now, Mitchell eligible for $149 million over 3 years. A year from now, it's $200 million over 4. And if he waits all the way until free agency in 2025, he could sign for 5 years and $260 million. And U.S. women's gymnastics won a record-setting 7th consecutive world title yesterday. That means Simone Biles has 33 major wins, Olympics and Worlds, making her the most decorated female gymnast of all time. Guys, back to you.
Bogush, thank you so much. Man of many talents, giving us Joe Beningo and also Simone Biles in the same update.
Commanders.
That has never happened.
The pole vault.
In the history.
The pommel horse. The uneven bars.
Oh.
That's a floor exercise.
All of a sudden, someone just face plants off the uneven bars and Bingo,
oh. That's a point deduction.
Someone check on the Russian judge. 855-212-4CBS. Maggie Perloff, you on CBS Sports Radio. Coming up, we got a lot to do, including one major team getting a little help. NFL-wise, someone big coming back this week. Will it matter? We'll tell you next. Don't move.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Oh, ready? Okay, I'll go first. This is.
1 minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. I'm getting a vibe here that people are not thrilled about the Thursday night football match.
What's giving you that
I don't know.
sense?
The Washington Commanders and Sam Howell going against Justin Fields and the Bears. Is it Justin Fields or is it the Bears? And the reason I ask this question is because I think we're all staring at the same issue. What if the Bears have the number one pick and Caleb Williams, USC quarterback, is there? If you're Caleb Williams, are you watching tonight and evaluating, is this a team that I want to play for? Is this a stadium I want to play in? Is this a city I want to play in? So I think that it's weird when you look at the Bears, you hope Justin Fields figures it out. But I think you'd be naive not to look ahead and say, is this Caleb Williams' next home?
If the Bears have the number one pick, they're definitely going to take him. I think the bigger question is, yes, would he actually want to go there, or would he try to pull a power play, something we haven't seen really since Eli Manning?
Yeah.
And you have to be a very special talent to be able to do that. But if he's the two-time Heisman Trophy winner, even if his father isn't a famous football player or his brother, I still think that he would have the clout to be able to try to direct where he goes.
And is the Bears such a bad franchise? You know, Eli didn't want to go to the Chargers, who famously had some front office issues.
Yep.
Is the Bears such a bad franchise that it makes sense for a player to say no thanks to them?
Well, I mean, it hasn't been great. It hasn't been great. It's just been a losing culture, and maybe a quarterback changes that. Listen, we said this about the Cincinnati Bengals quite a bit, and then Joe Burrow got there, and it turned things around, and Cincinnati is no longer thought of as like a losing team. If Deshaun Watson could turn things around and maybe didn't have some of the things in his personal life that we know about, maybe he could have turned around the Browns. I don't know. Like, you know, Josh Allen has done this for Buffalo. They were such losers before this, and he's turned things around and made them into a winner. Sometimes it just takes a quarterback, but man, is that a heavy lift.
Well, the other thing, too, is the Bears' history goes back to 1977. I mean, they had Jim McMahon Jay Cutler was there. He had talent, but he was a huge disappointment. So I don't know. You're looking, if you're a young player, you're 21 years old, do you care about 50 years of futility? So I wonder if all that history of the Bears really matters. And if Caleb Williams, I think the Bears could call him and say, listen, we want to hire a new coach, an offensive coach. We want to build the team around you. They could convince him, right? I mean, I don't know what Caleb is looking for, but it's a huge city. It's a monstrous city. It's a great city. They're building a new stadium. I think they could make a pitch.
Yeah, and listen, ultimately, you can convince yourself of anything, right? You'll convince yourself that I'm the special guy who's going to turn this around, and then he's going to have to go out there and do it, and that's going to be the harder thing.
And his hometown is Washington, who now appears to be a little too good to tank for Caleb Williams. They're 2-2. Ron Rivera, I mean, he could say the same thing. Maybe we bring in a new coach and Caleb Williams next year. That would be a great spot, but I think they're too good to get him.
Unless they want to like mortgage the future to try to get him like what they did for RG3, but that was to get up to 2. They were never getting Andrew Luck at 1 that year.
There's no mortgage. If you get the number one pick, you're taking Caleb Williams. You do not trade the Trevor Lawrence pick or the Andrew Luck pick. You know, you could trade up for Bryce Young, but I think people are going to be trading up to 2 to get Drake May. I hope they trade up to 2, but you know why.
Yeah, another show bet.
Another show bet.
We're
this
catching
one
you
is
guys
brutal.
up to speed.
By the way,
on
Pat,
all
you
of our
think
show bets.
eating chili with no hands, which I'm doing tomorrow, is bad? What do I have to do if the draft doesn't go Caleb Williams 1 and Drake May, the North Carolina quarterback, 2. I lose a bet, and I have to drive to the city that drafts Drake May.
No.
Yeah.
You might have to drive to, well, I'm trying to think.
Listen, he could get lucky. It could be like the Giants, and then you don't have to drive. You don't have to go that far.
Could the Giants or the Jets? Could be Washington.
Could be Washington. Maybe that's just a nice stroll right down the Northeast
Could
corridor.
be New England. Maybe lovely.
You love going to Boston.
I mean, it could be Arizona.
You could be going to Denver. You could be driving to Denver.
Well, listen, maybe stop by, say hi to Dion. That'd be fun.
I'm sure he would love to see you.
So I don't know. Is all this looking ahead make this game any better tonight? It's a football game. We're gonna watch.
Okay, didn't we get this game last year on Thursday
Feels like
night?
I've seen a lot of Bears.
We got a lot of bad Thursday games last year.
Remember, it wasn't Ron Rivera. Wasn't this right after he criticized Carson Wentz? And then didn't they? Am I wrong about this? Didn't they play the Bears? I think Rivera might have been getting emotional at the podium afterwards. Am I like making this up? Did I dream this in one of my multiple afternoon naps that I now have to take?
So last year, get our research team on the Commanders and the Bears. It feels like a Thursday night game
This
last year.
feels like one that Al Michaels really had to slog through.
Oh, yeah. And they, of course, that electric chemistry he has with Herbie.
It is an A+.
We got a Colts and a Broncos week 5 last year. That was the 12-9 overtime game. Week 6,
that was the
Commanders
worst.
Bears. Week 6, Commanders Bears was even worse. 12-7. You were right.
Thank you. I know my bad football.
12-7.
In Chicago. Almost a year to the date.
Are they trying to make Al quit? Is that what they want to do? It's like, let's just give him the Bears in prime time.
Might be.
We're definitely seeing another 12 tonight. There's going to be a 12 or a 16 in the final score. That much we can guarantee.
Coming up, we'll talk to a legend for the 85 Bears, Leslie Frazier, head coach, defensive coordinator, very accomplished, and again, won a Super Bowl with those 85 Bears. He will join us next. Don't move. Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break.
The Eagles are the only team that can do this. The Giants tried last night, and Peyton Manning was able to diagnose why it was not successful.
See, that guard's got to get his hand more on the butt. He's got to get it up in there a little more. He's not pushing on enough.
He didn't get a push.
Yeah. Pre-snap, he's got to have his hand on the butt, and then go, right? You see? He's got no space. It's not quarterback. There's no chance that's going to work. You got to push the right butt cheek specifically.
Yeah. I think that here's the issue with other teams. It's fear of intimacy. The Eagles are true brotherly love.
Yeah.
They have no problem, as Payton said, getting up there.
They will touch each other's butts. They do not care.
Yeah. They will.
For the sake of a first down. I'm sorry. That just reminded me, or it made me think. Imagine, Peyton Manning's always so clinical. Imagine Peyton Manning would be narrating sex. All right, take her he would just be so clinical about it. Sorry, he would. It just it's so matter of fact.
I have this image.
The sheriff,
Yeah, and Eli be. Yeah, Eli be staring dumbfounded at Peyton explaining that. Eli be like, huh?
Wait, what now? Yeah, Eli has really mastered that sort of goofy look on his face, the aw shucks, the Eli face, if you will.
Wow. Didn't know we were going to go there.
I know,
mean, when you have a play called the tush push in the NFL,
you're begging for it. I mean, Peyton Manning's the one who started it. He's talking about hands got to be on the right butt cheek. You're right.
Going to need a parental rating on that Manning cast moving forward.
Hand on the butt, the right butt cheek specifically.
Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
She can run the 40 faster than Tom Brady. He got a perfect score on the Wonderlic. They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Yes, just add us together. You have the perfect football player. Hey, welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, right here on CBS Sports Radio. We've taken over the morning show. It's our first week, and we're so glad to have you along with us. Not so jazzed about the football game tonight, but there are a lot of implications when you look at the Bears and the Commanders. Not the sexiest matchup, Perloff, but for the Bears, clearly an organization at a crossroads and could be looking at major changes at the end of the year.
Well, there was so much promise for most of that game against the Broncos. Last week, Justin Fields looked like he had finally figured it out.
Yeah.
And I don't think the loss was on Fields at all. There was a lot went wrong there.
I mean, turns out just playing the Broncos defense, will really make everyone look very, very good. You got to be a little careful about that. I think the question always has been with Justin Fields is this is not the same regime that drafted him. Was he always going to be on a little bit of shaking ground or a little bit, like you see what happens now with teams who did draft quarterbacks that don't turn out to be that great. Like the Jets can't quit Zach Wilson because this regime picked him second overall. This is not the same regime that picked Justin Fields, right? There's no real ownership maybe of, really making it work at all costs. You could see them if they have the draft are in position next year, just moving on from him and starting over.
Absolutely. It's interesting because we get so excited about first-round draft picks. Justin Fields was the number 11 pick.
Yeah.
More often, it's like 60-40 that these guys don't work out.
He was so electric in the college football playoff, though. I think that it was like...
But
it was a huge audience. Even if you're not a diehard Ohio State fan or if you don't watch a lot of college football, you were probably watching the games he was playing in.
But Ohio State, you always have the question, is it the Ohio State offense or is it the quarterback?
Yep.
C.J. Stroud has been great, which is a surprise because most of the Ohio State quarterbacks have not
struggled. Yep.
I just think that Chicago has some sort of fundamental problem with quarterback. I don't know what it is. I have a lot of friends who are Bears fans, and they just can't get it right. I mean, my buddy Andy Dalton was there and had no chance. You go back, Jay Cutler was the most talented guy they ever had, but I think he was not the greatest locker room guy, and you go on and on and on.
Maggie and Perloff, we also have a show bet that we are going to pay off, and that will be tomorrow. Perloff is going to eat a bowl of Skyline chili with no hands. If you want to watch that on a live stream, you can do so. YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Of course, across the country on all of our incredible CBS Sports Radio affiliates.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I would like to change gears for a second, can we, Pete? I think it's time to check in with our pal Deion Sanders. Let's do our daily Deion because we love Deion so much, we talk about him every single day.
Daily. Do you believe that? Deion. You believe that?
Our worlds collided yesterday. People will get to know Perloff is a diehard Philadelphia sports everything. So that's the Eagles, it's the Phillies, of course, and it's also the Philadelphia 76ers. Deion Sanders was addressing the 76ers, who are in Fort Collins, Colorado for their training camp.
Of course.
Like one does.
Duh.
And here's what he had to say.
A lot of folks duck that smoke right now. They want to be Tarzan on paper. Don't sell me the game that this is what I'm going to get, but then when I turn on the TV, I don't get that. I don't like that. Give me that. If B playing the Joker, I want to see B versus the Joker. All right? I want to see that. And he goes and get it, right? I love it. I love the matchup because I want to see it. That's what I want to see. That's why I stayed up.
That is Deion Sanders basically saying, kind of calling out Joel Embiid a little bit, right? Like if
No. I don't think that was calling out Embiid. There was just two games where Embiid and Jokic were in the MVP race, and they didn't face each other for different reasons. I think he's calling out everybody. I think he's calling out all the modern NBA players, and it's sort of the attitude of NFL players. I mean, Deion, for reinventing college football, is old school.
Yeah, he is.
And I think watching guys load manage must drive him nuts.
See, I thought he was kind of calling this was specifically for Embiid because it's like, don't say you're Tarzan and then I tune in and you're not playing well. Right. And Embiid had a terrible Game 7 against the Celtics, right?
No,
Harden really had the bad game, but like they kind of no-showed and got blown out by the Celtics in Game 7 of the playoffs last year. I think that's what he was talking about.
That's not what he was talking about. He was talking about there was supposed to be this head-to-head with Jokic and Embiid at the end of the season. I'm almost sure that's what he was talking about. I could be wrong. I
thought he was going a little deeper on this.
No, he's talking about guys not playing. I don't think he's talking about showing up and then not performing. He would not rip Joel Embiid to his face. What would be the point of that?
No, he's not ripping him to his face, but I think it was like targeted. And also, it's funny. He wants to see Embiid and Joker. Does Joel Embiid want to see that? Is he?
Yeah. No, this was specifically one game they were talking about where they were supposed to match up.
No,
and it was
remember
epic.
it.
No, he's not talking about like having a poor performance. What does he care if the Sixers lose to the Celtics?
Well, I just assume that Deion was asked to speak to the team by the 76ers brass, right? And so what's the one thing that has to change about the 76ers besides the drama that seems to find them with players like Ben Simmons and James Harden now? The one thing that has to change is Embiid's got to get them past the second round of the playoffs. Like he's the reigning MVP. He's the one who's got to put the team on its back for a playoff series. So I thought this was the team kind of telling Deion, hey, we need a motivational speech here. We need it to be directed at Joel Embiid. He's the most important person on the team.
No. What does Deion have interest in the Sixers? Why does he want to help the Sixers?
I don't know. Why was he speaking to him in the first place?
He was speaking. No. This is Deion, the NBA fan who wants to sit and watch a showdown of the great players. I think he's talking to everybody. I think he's saying, listen, you're not going to, if you skip 10 games, you're doing a disservice to the fans. And I am an NBA fan. I don't think this had anything to do with the Sixers. What is he? I'm sure. Who's his team? Probably, I assume the Lakers. I have no idea why, but
he's from Florida, so
he was specific, and he actually everyone's taking this as he's specifically addressing that game because Embiid, I guess, will not show up against Joker. He'd kill him, by the way. He's the one guy who'd probably match up well against Jokic.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Jokic will make it to the finals. The 76ers have to do their part.
Yeah, I don't think that's really going to happen with the 76ers. But don't you think this is like the 90s athletes probably look like Michael Jordan? I think of Michael Jordan as the ultimate. Don't they look at the modern athletes and say, what are you doing?
Well, we talked to Magic Johnson, and he was ticked off about it. He hates load management because we asked him whether the new rules are going to change, guys not playing. And he got really animated when we spoke to him last week.
Yeah, I'm like that too. I'm old school. I want to see them play.
Yeah. I was going to say, you always show up.
The question, though, I don't think most fans like load management. Will any of these rules affect this? Because one guy's just fake injuries.
They can, but they also didn't they try to put a mechanism in place for that? You need like a third-party doctor or something to come in and
is that
diagnose your tendonitis. I think.
Yeah, I kept reading the headlines that they're going to stop load management, but I figured teams would always find a workaround.
No, I think you have to be able to prove it to someone besides the team trainer.
Wow. That's good.
NBA's not messing around.
I don't know. I feel like they've lost a lot of fans the last couple of years because the regular season has lost its. When I was younger, I remember NBC would show a regular season game and it felt like a big deal. Now the NBA regular season games feel a little watered down.
Yeah, you think? Because no one's ever suiting up for them. Yes, it's a massive problem and could lead to them losing potentially tens of millions of dollars in their next TV deal.
Well, listen, Harden showed up. The Sixers are fine. They're going to be in the finals this year against Joker.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Can I complain for a second? It's not about waking up early. This is not about the new schedule. I actually love the new schedule. It's been awesome so far. We love doing mornings on CBS Sports Radio. But something that's starting to bother me, gender norms like in this country, sometimes like men are supposed to do some things and women are kind of supposed to do other things. And I think we're blurring the lines between that quite a bit in today's society, right? I think we've done a good job of like, it's not just if you're a man, you got to do this and a woman, you got to do this. We're all kind of doing everything. There's one thing that won't go away though. I am now on a text thread with my husband's friends' wives. Follow that logic. My husband, his friends from high school, their wives, we're all the women are on a text chain because they want to throw a reunion. Like everyone to get together for like a weekend over the summer or something, or maybe the winter. I don't know. I'm not reading any of these texts. Anyway, they want to get together, and it falls on the women to have to plan this whole thing because they think the men are incapable of doing this. And this is just one of those gender norm things that has to go away.
So you're saying there would never be a text thread with me and all like the husbands?
Planning a vacation for everybody? No way.
So my
no
wife,
shot.
My wife has a group of core friends of about 5 women that she's been friends with forever. I would, in a million years, not get on a text thread with their husbands.
Of course you wouldn't. And I love these women. They're great. I don't know any of them. I don't know any of them. We all know each other through our husbands, our friends from high school. We're all from different parts of the country. We're all got different things going on. It's just wild that I've got to plan a vacation now with these women who I'm basically acquaintances with for my husband and his good friends.
Well, let me ask you a question then. Okay, are there any gender differences? Like, does a mother and father have different roles in your mind?
I mean, I think that's kind of blurring a little bit. I think so, right?
Yeah, blurring
We're pretty
a little
modern
bit.
around our house.
Totally. But in my house, there are certain things where
my husband takes out the garbage.
Yeah. Well, mom is
without fail.
Mom is the go-to on certain things.
Oh, okay. Like what?
Well, everything. I have 2 daughters, so emotionally, eventually, mom is the go-to.
Yeah. No, my husband's really good. Like he's responded to emails from the teachers. He's, it's not just all about mom all the time. He's awesome.
Okay.
And I have a son, so they connect.
Well, here's the $1,000,000 question, Maggie, is who started this group text? Did your husband and his friends throw you guys in this group text, or did you guys start it? Because you think that men are incapable of planning.
I never said anything about these guys. I think they're totally capable of planning something. All of a sudden, it popped up one day. Hey, guys, like, here's a text message. Let's start looking at Airbnbs. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't care. Just tell me when to show up, and I'll show up, and I'll be a good soldier. But I don't want to plan this thing.
Where are you going?
We don't know yet.
But you need to get to the bottom of this. Why did that one woman start this group? Does she think her husband's incapable, or did her husband say, I'm incapable, we're all incapable, you guys need to do it?
Okay, well, it's a bunch of 40-year-old guys. I think they can figure out an Airbnb. They all figured out each other's bachelor parties somehow.
I'm glad that you're not creating these gender norms, Maggie, but somebody is continuing this trend.
I know.
Okay, so
and I'm caught up in the crossfire. And really, the reason why this even happened is because there's a lot of people on the West Coast. So the text messages were coming in like fast and furious, and I got to go to bed now at like 9 o'clock at night.
Well, what if the men plan the trip? Let me ask you this.
Yeah, and it's stunk.
And it's either, okay, let's all go to Vegas. Let's all go to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Let's all go on a golf vacation somewhere. Would you?
Men can't go anywhere else but those 3
Because
places.
that's like the bachelor party stuff that we planned. So what if they plan that kind of trip? Are you saying that as a woman, you'd be like, okay, fine, that's totally cool?
I'd be like, all right, Friday we're doing dinner in Rick's Cabaret. Saturday, we're doing Bourbon Street. Oh, of course, I don't know. I would just rather go along with it than have to plan for a bunch of guys. Like, I know they're more capable than this.
You should plan something very boring.
I think there's.
Then we all lose.
I think there is the thought.
Amish country or something?
There is the thought that the wives would not be happy with what the men planned. So why just cut through the step of the men coming up with their plan, which would be inferior? I just think, I'm sorry, am I being.
You're leaning into the
Am I
gender.
being-
You're saying
am I-
it's inferior? That we can't plan things?
If I planned a trip for my wife and her friends, it would be vetoed. There is just 100% chance.
You wouldn't get past the committee?
It would be, then they would come up with a plan. Yeah, I guess I'm leaning into that because then they would come up with a plan and that would be what
Okay,
happened.
listen, you guys want to do spa day. I'm all for it. If the husbands want to get manicures and pedicures.
Do you honestly think, all right, leave it to the 40-year-old guys. Do you think that they're going to come up with something that everyone's happy with?
I think it's impossible to get a group consensus this big anyway.
Because the only group consensus that matters is what the five
what the
wives
women want.
think. Yes, that's the group consensus. The guys, come on. Oh, man, I am leaning in, aren't I?
You are leaning in big time.
I think
But
the
am I
guys
wrong?
can do it.
Yes.
Listen, if it's a golf vacation,
Pat,
fine.
when you get together with your guys, guy friends, you guys plan trips?
We planned a trip to the Bahamas last year when it was perfect. It went swimmingly. There was no hiccups in the
Yeah.
itinerary. No,
I know, but Pat's a single guy. They don't have any women they have to please. It
But
was
by
just
the way,
dudes.
no, it sounds like he knows what he's doing. You should loop Pat into this
Actually,
text
Pat, can you
thread.
plan a vacation for a
Yeah,
bunch
I
of
know. It
40-year-olds?
sounds like you have some skills here.
so you don't know where you're going. So you have to find out where you're going. I'll figure out some destinations. I'll get you the Airbnb. I will get you the airfare ready to go.
Is this part of the producer role now? You got to plan on vacation.
If it gets me the job, sure.
For people who I'm
But-
tangentially associated with.
I am wild. You went to the Bahamas with a bunch of guy friends. Like we went to the Jersey Shore. Like we could barely execute that.
Tupelo.
All it takes patience, and it takes somebody
who's willing to put down the credit card.
one or two things. Yeah, well, somebody to put down a credit card, but also like two people at most just stepping forward and say, "All right, are we cool with this?" Because everybody's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I don't know." You get a date and you say, "Hey, this is the date. Anybody have any exceptions?" All right, I'm booking the flight. Here's the flight. This is the flight date. This is where we're
Someone's
staying.
got to take the reins.
Exactly.
And I don't want that person to be me.
You need an alpha.
Yep.
Bellotti, you've been quiet here.
Well, I with any planning of trips, I want to do it. No, because I want to know where I'm going. I want to know the hotel I'm staying at. I don't want to, because if I put it in someone else's hands and the hotel stinks, I'm going to be mad.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So You'd
rather have yourself to blame.
I'd rather blame myself. I'd rather find the right things that I think would work for everybody.
You should do as an experiment, Maggie. You should send a text saying the men should plan this and see what happens. And if
No,
none
it's
of the
gonna get me
wives,
kicked out of
here's
the
the thing:
thread.
if none of the wives complained or everybody was okay with what the men planned, then you're right. But if any of the wives veto this plan, then maybe there is a reason these biases exist.
I can't just parachute into this thing after I don't respond to basically any of the texts to be like, guys, don't you think our husbands can take care of this? They will excommunicate me. I'm not trying to.
Because your husbands can't take care of this. Everybody
can.
knows that they can't. If me and my guy friends tried to plan a big vacation get together, would not happen.
I just.
If it was the five of us guys, then it would definitely happen. It would
Do you
be a
guys,
blast.
do you girls have to go on the reunion trip? Do you want to go?
Well, that's another thing.
Great
I'm like,
question.
How about this? How about the guys can just go? And that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
we did a ranking not too long ago of what was it, top 5 best vacations and like types of vacation, beach vacation, ski vacation, whatever. And girls trip, guys trip was number 1 on the list because it's always great. Whether you're in your 20s, it's great. It's great when you have a family and you can have a time to go bond with your friends because it's usually pretty rare. Girls trip or guys trip is the ultimate.
Yeah, I like when my wife goes on a lot of girls trips and it seems to recharge her and
It's the best.
yeah, that sounds cool.
And guys trips too.
I don't want to go out with a bunch of I don't want to go on a trip with 5 couples.
Right?
No, not at all.
It's a lot of small talk.
Oh.
But see, the guys are really good friends. So like they're.
Right, so you have a great point. Just go guys. What's the point of bringing everybody?
Only way you can do the couples is if the couples, all of them are friends. The
Right.
girls and the guys. Now,
Well, we are all friendly. Everyone gets along, but we
but
just don't.
friends.
We all live in different cities. We don't know. We don't have that shared history of going to high school together.
No, there's no history there.
Brian is in the chat, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. He goes, Maggie knows none of these wives listen to the show.
Oh, yeah, that's a given.
That just occurred to me.
Do you ever see Goodfellas where they all go on vacation together? There's a scene where they show all the pictures. That always struck me as completely not fun. Well, I mean, I guess going in organized crime, it's different.
But it's got a lot of secrets.
But yeah, I don't totally get, couples vacations with kids. We've never had that.
We've done it with family, obviously.
Yeah, with family. That's how we usually do that.
That's fun. But
Yeah. Is it?
that one I like. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227.
And Mag, we also have Twitch stream, Twitch chat, which they are very, very impassioned about there being a Twitch chat as well as a YouTube chat. Somebody in there, Andy Lean, says, how hard is it to plan a trip? It's a guy's weekend, Maggie. Stay away.
Oh, I will
So now
stay
you're
away.
getting arrows.
No, but I don't want to. I'm not trying to impede on the vacation. I'm not like, hey, guys, wait up. You forgot to, plan. I don't want to go. I mean, actually, that's not true. I do want to go. I don't want to plan it. And hi, everyone on Twitch.
Well, plan it for a place you want to go to. Then settle it at that.
Yeah, where do you want to go?
Right.
Like, what's a Maggie Gray ideal spot for this party?
I mean, I'd really just love to take a nap.
Go to the beach?
I'm a huge beach person. I
There you
love a
go.
pool as well.
That doesn't seem too hard to plan.
Be a lake person.
Uh,
Go to a place that has a good beach and a great hotel on the beach.
Yeah,
I
go
know you
down to
guys
Florida.
Right.
All right, well, see you later. I gotta convince
We
all
planned it
these
right now.
Other
Just text-
people. I got 8 women on this thread.
I think, yeah, just text them back. Hey, I talked to my
I
3
ran it
guys
by.
on my show, and they have a great plan. We're going to the beach in Fort Lauderdale.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Okay, I guess it's me. I'm the bad person because I don't want to plan this thing. Coming up, so much to do, including massive game in college football this weekend. Promise, this one is Dion free, everybody. Another big game in college football. We'll get to it in just moments.
This show is sponsored in part by BetterHelp. Do you ever feel like your brain is getting in its own way? Like you know what you should do, what's good for you, but you just can't do it? Therapy helps you figure out what's holding you back so you can work for yourself instead of against yourself. Sometimes it's just a matter of talking things out so you can get a better understanding of what may be standing in your way, even if that's you.
You know, Perloff, we've all been through some unpredictable times over the past few years, and it's not a sign of weakness to ask for help. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/MNP today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/MNP.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Stream the NFL on Westwood One for free, sponsored by AutoZone. All season long, you can listen to every Westwood One broadcast of the NFL live on the NFL app by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports or on the Odyssey app. Get in the zone, AutoZone. AutoZone's free battery testing and charging is available for free at your local AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply. I got to tell you, Maggie, we switched to the mornings.
Yep.
It's a little harder on me.
Are you doing okay?
No, just because I have to watch the Phillies at night, and I have a team alive in
Poor you.
postseason baseball. I love September and October in sports so much. When you have baseball going on, you got football going on, you got basketball and hockey starting. Are you a fall person, or do you like the spring when a bunch of things are going on?
Yeah, there's kind of like two, right? You
Yeah.
either love this part of the year, football, baseball, like you said, or you love March Madness, opening day, the Masters, like that.
Yeah.
April kind of gives you a fun
Yeah,
time
like
too.
championship time.
Yeah.
For me, this is by far the best. It's a little busy. I mean, we have a lot of pressure on us
Well,
to fit all this in.
You know, I think you have more pressure on you than me, considering tomorrow the Skyline Chili bet gets paid off right here on Maggie and Perloff, 8 o'clock Eastern. So right about this time tomorrow, Perloff, he has to eat a bowl of Skyline Chili with no hands. That's it. Pie eating contest style. Yesterday you asked about handcuffs. I don't know why you wanted handcuffs to keep your hands behind your back, but
Now I'm intrigued.
now we got Pat's
sort
attention.
of a fantasy.
Good morning.
So here's some serving.
The fantasy is the handcuffs and the chili.
You just rolled over that
Yeah.
too, Parloff. Yeah. It's a fantasy.
Yeah. Here's serving
Covered in chili.
suggestions. Well, this is it's apropos to what we're talking about. On the back of the can, it says you can enjoy a 3-way, 4-way, or 5-way, or a Skyline cheese coney.
Listen.
What the heck does that mean? What's
Don't
a
go pulling
3-way?
us into this thing.
You cook 6 ounces of spaghetti per serving, and then you heat the Skyline chili. Okay, here's good. And then to make a 3-way, spread 3 ounces of shredded Skyline mild cheddar cheese. And to make a 5-way, add 2 teaspoons of cooked red beans and onions and cheese. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a lot. So you can make they have things 3-way, 4-way, 5-way, different ways to eat Skyline chili, which is the famous Cincinnati chili.
Wait, so where are you cooking the spaghetti?
That's a good question. Do we have a pot oven or anything
We
like
don't
that?
have a stove here.
I'll go double check.
It's
Is
an
there
office.
a stove in the pantry?
We might have pot. I don't know if we have a pot.
No, in this crowd, there's definitely lots of pot.
That's a great question. I guess I could microwave it.
No, I think
You'd
you
have
can't
to
microwave spaghetti.
Oh yeah,
How
the
would you do
spaghetti.
that? You microwave spaghetti to cook it the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time,
Just
not
put
to
water
heat
in
it
it.
up.
You could definitely microwave spaghetti.
If it's in a can?
No, so with the chili we can microwave.
No, the chili we microwave, but not the spaghetti.
You could microwave spaghetti.
You can't. So I think you should make
Thank
the
you, Bogus.
spaghetti tonight
Am
at
I
home.
in outer space? What are you guys
Yeah.
talking about?
Make the spaghetti at home.
Like
tonight.
uncooked spaghetti? Or
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, you'd have to eat that in a pot.
I'm like, what the hell's
Yeah.
going on around here? Thank you, Bogus.
Well, I am so glad I brought all this stuff in today because I never thought about the fact that there's no stovetop anywhere in this whole building.
It's an office. What do you?
Well, there is like a Google cafeteria, but you can't go into that.
Wait, why would there be an open flame in this office?
I don't know. In my old office,
We're adults.
There's there's a full kitchen over there.
Is it though? It's a sink and a couple vending machines.
Right. And an ice maker.
And an ice maker.
I came from the Dan Patrick Show where we had like 6 grills and 5 stoves and we cooked all the time. I don't know because
You guys had a
actually,
man cave.
in all seriousness, it's just an entertainment company. There's never a cooking session or anything in this place.
No.
What are you, Bobby Flay? We're talking about sports around here. Why would there be a cooking
Right.
segment?
We barely have enough things to do a sports show. They're not going to add on appliances.
It's not the Today Show. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think we're doing?
Well, we were at Sports Illustrated together, Maggie. There was a test kitchen, right? There definitely was.
There was, but that's because Sports Illustrated was also owned People Magazine and that some other cooking magazine.
So there's all sorts of shows around this place. Tons of shows.
you
You're
think
telling
the
me there's
fans cooking anything?
I don't know. There are entertainment stations up there.
We're gonna have Perloff's pastries. He's gonna bake cookies at 8:00 every morning with a little easy bake oven in the middle of the studio.
Yeah,
now.
I don't think like CBS 101 Light FM is not going to be up there doing a cooking segment.
We should have a stovetop.
By the
No,
way,
we shouldn't. There
I
should
gotta tell
not
you,
be gas or electricity fueling
Why?
a fire because we're idiots.
Do you, you don't trust yourself, Bogus?
No,
I know how to cook.
trust
I can
myself.
cook things.
Okay.
It's the other idiots that work here.
We are on a 24/7 operation. You don't think someone's going to leave the stove on? You're
Right.
crazy.
Well, you don't
Every
have
day.
to have a gas stove. You can have an electric stove. And I don't think it's
Bang.
that right. I think a lot of offices have full kitchens. People cook, like make their lunch and dinner. No?
They do?
Yeah.
I've never worked in an office that had a
Me
full.
neither.
Well, I guess SI did, but that was like a test kitchen. They were shooting like fancy videos and stuff in there.
So the 2 places I worked are Dan Patrick Show and SI, and they both had full kitchens.
I worked at the NBA that never had a kitchen. Major League Baseball
Oh.
never had a kitchen.
NFL had the biggest cafeteria. There were 50 ovens there. We could have
Ovens? Were you like going to roast a turkey?
They had like a 200-person cafeteria,
Well,
like
you couldn't
Google.
go use that stuff. They made food for
Oh, that was
if
like
there
the
was a
cafeteria
bet,
workers.
yeah, if there was a bet that we had to make chili, then they
Someone
would have
would-
let me use the stove for 5 minutes. And by the way, it says you can cook pasta in a microwave. Place your pasta in a microwave-safe bowl, cover it with water, and microwave on high for 3 minutes. You're done.
Oh, I've never cooked pasta in a microwave.
No,
Don't do that.
nobody has.
I'm sure that tastes excellent.
I mean, that's pretty sad that you actually you really need a microwave pasta.
I don't own a microwave.
Oh, look at you.
You don't own a microwave?
I do not own a microwave.
You know how many things I use a microwave for on a daily basis?
Pot.
Yeah, I don't know if you can microwave
I
pot.
know. It's difficult.
What do you use? An air fryer, an oven, and a toaster oven?
Yep. Yes. And yes. And a stovetop. The air fryer has been a game changer. Bogish is here with headlines. Good morning, Bogish.
Good morning, everybody. No air fryers here. They couldn't win a playoff game for 19 years. Now the Twins can't lose one. A 2-game sweep of the Blue Jays thanks to great pitching, some timely hits, and some really good defense.
Pick up attempt at second, and they got him. They got him at second base. Sonny Gray and Correa picked off Guerrero at second base.
That was on Twins radio. The pickoff happened in the 5th inning with the tying runs in scoring position, a full count on Toronto's best hitter, Bo Bichette. Gray says Correa started planning in the 1st inning.
He comes up after the 1st inning and he says, "Hey, listen to me." They can't hear the third base coach yell back. You can pick. There's going to be an option to pick. He's like, the timing pick is going to be there. It's going to be there.
So he went on to say that Correa then, in the 5th inning, sent a signal through the pitch comm. I knew the shortstop had one, but I thought it was just to listen so he knew what was coming pitch-wise. But there's a code for for timing pickoff at second base?
So I was thinking about that too. I thought only the shortstop could hear the pitch commer,
Right.
knows what pitch is coming, and then I thought Correa then delivered like a hand signal.
He said, I heard timing play at second base in the pitch comm, so I went through all of my things to make it look normal, and then I spun and he was there and I threw it.
By the way,
That's how Sonny Gray described it.
why could he not hear the third base coach?
Oh, because it was really loud because they had a lot of people there.
Yes, unlike the Rays, who
Yes,
Maggie said
I
it's
know.
fine that nobody showed up at the Rays, but they could have gained a competitive advantage in Tampa like they did in Minnesota. But no, for Maggie, it doesn't matter if you show up or
I
not.
know. Well, I can't, blame like incompetence on the managerial staff because they didn't have enough fans in the building. That's crazy. Come on.
So the Twins won this game 2-0. They held Toronto to 1 run in 2 games. They had lost their previous 9 series. Now they face the Astros in the ALDS. The other series is Rangers-Orioles because Texas swept the Rays in Tampa 7-1. First time since 2011 that the Rangers won a series. The Phillies, meanwhile, making a habit of advancing, sweeping the Marlins 7-1, fueled by a Bryson Stott grand slam. Their reward, though, is a meeting with the 104-win Braves.
Bring it on.
And the Diamondbacks are done with the Brewers, taking Game 2 in Milwaukee 5-2. Craig Counsell's team has now lost 9 of its last 10 postseason games.
We're disappointed. I mean, these chances are sacred. They're for players that you get this window to have a great month of October, and so it hurts for it to be over.
Counsell would not answer questions about his future post-game. He's out of contract. The team wants him back, apparently, but there's plenty of speculation about Counsell following President David Stearns to the Mets. All 4 division series begin
It's happening.
on Saturday.
It's ridiculous.
Just know it's happening. He's going to be the next manager in the Mets. It's fine.
When they have a heartbreaking loss, hearing that same clip is going to be exhilarating. I'll tell you that.
Is there anyone you want to hear after your team loses?
Yeah.
Like, who's a coach that delivers a really good, we just lost speech?
I just
They're all
don't-
annoying when you lose.
I don't know. There's some people that will really rub you the wrong way more than others.
Well, who cares about the speech? I care more that they can't win playoff games. I'm
Right.
glad that they get there,
Yeah.
but then they can't win them.
Yeah, the Mets already have that trouble. They don't need someone else.
What manager would get you excited? Is there somebody that's out there that
Not on the list they're providing, but Joe Madden's on that list. That's an intriguing candidate, I think.
That would be really good.
I mean, that's just another retread, but
it'd be good, a Buck Showalter type.
yeah, thanks.
Maybe Buck Showalter.
I wonder if he's available.
Before baseball resumes on Saturday, you've got the Bears and the
Commanders
on Thursday Night Football. Washington has lost its last 2 games. Chicago yet to win one this season. It's day 3 now of Lakers versus Nuggets. LA still bothered by Denver's behavior after their Western Conference final last spring. Nuggets head coach Michael Malone don't care.
Oh, they're talking about us? Yeah. That was like 4 months ago? Yeah. I can't speak for anybody in LA. I can speak for 17 players on our team, 18 players now in our group. But if they're still worried about us, that's on them.
It was Malone who was introed as the Lakers' daddy at the finals parade and who made jokes about LeBron suggesting he might retire.
I don't understand. He makes it sound like 4 months is distant history. It's like, that was 4 months ago. Like the Nuggets win the title all the time. I feel like I understand what he's saying, but it still feels like that just happened to me. Whatever.
The other thing is, I think the Lakers are doing a little Michael Jordan thing here.
Yeah.
There's no way they're actually this offended by any of that stuff. Like, they're just doing that thing. Yeah. It's like they clearly need this because no one takes this kind of stuff that person.
But all the Lakers fans and the media are getting all up in arms. Did you see Richard Sherman said history will forget Michael Malone? He went after him and said, you are a one and done championship coach. Like, Lakers people get in their feelings a little bit, Maggie.
I guess so. I think the Nuggets will win another title. That's not a one and done.
Well, you and I disagree.
Nick Nurse might be a one and
I
done.
think everybody in the NBA, I think it's a new champion every year. I don't think anybody's repeating. It's 5 in a row, right? Different champions. I don't think the Nuggets are repeating. Show bet.
Well, let's pay off the chili tomorrow first before we get into another
And
one.
maybe drive to Texas.
And also, Pat and I have to to make stakes for our show bet. Will Taylor Swift show up to the Chiefs at Vikings?
Ooh.
And I'm fairly confident, Maggie, so however extreme you want to get, if you're confident as well,
all right.
let me know.
I got it.
Eyebrow.
How about the loser has to wear Taylor Swift bright red lipstick? And I don't know who that'll bother more. Because I can't see Maggie wearing that bright red.
At least I own some.
That you
don't know
that
about
shade.
Boyle.
I might have that shade somewhere. I will do it. Who has to wear the bright red lipstick? I mean, Pat, that's a little. You're gonna look like the Joker.
I don't think that's that big.
It wouldn't be the first time I put red lipstick on.
All right.
No, hold on. Let me explain.
Oh, Nelly.
Because I was the Joker for Halloween.
Yeah, but don't make it crooked.
It was a
and look
Tuesday
like
in May, but whatever.
Yeah.
Shut up, Andrew.
This one's got to be in the lines.
Yes, you can do regular red lipstick as if I was Taylor Swift.
We'll ask Allie, the makeup artist, to do it for you. Like professionally applied.
Say no more.
All right.
What? I didn't hear this bet go down. Who's on the no side? Because that's the correct answer.
Me.
Okay, good.
That's the correct answer.
She's not going
Bogus,
to
you have
Minneapolis.
literally said everything you've said today is wrong. I want you to know that.
Except caricature. Had that one nailed.
Look, ask Oxford himself how to say it. I guarantee you can say caricature.
Caricature.
I mean, you can say it all
Ask
you want.
Merriam, ask John Webster,
I'll
whatever
ask
their
Merriam
names are.
Webster, yeah,
Have you ever heard the expression Jiminy caricatures?
Rolls off the tongue, quite frankly.
Caricature. Okay.
Masai was out again last night, so Inter Miami lost again 4-1 at the Chicago Fire. They are now 1-3-2. When he doesn't play, they're 5 points out of a playoff spot with 3 matches left. Elsewhere in MLS, Vancouver, LAFC, Seattle, Houston, Real Salt Lake all clinched playoff spots last night. And Illinois' Memorial Stadium can host tomorrow night's showdown with Nebraska. No seating adjustments necessary. The structure is safe after a fire in the south end of the stadium on Tuesday night. Guys, back to you.
What caught fire?
Part of the stadium.
Oh, wow.
They're making chili.
They're trying to microwave pasta.
Yeah, someone's making chili in the office again. Thank
chili,
you,
by the way, chili in the office. You know what that makes everyone think about.
Kevin from The Office.
Kevin from The Office when he made his homemade chili and spilled all over the floor. Now, if we could get a moment like that tomorrow, that is... I'm sorry, The Office is one of the great shows of all time. That is the funniest moment in the history of The Office.
Then you're going to have to eat it off the floor.
Yeah, the thing is, if that happens with us, it will stay on the carpet probably for weeks.
Yeah.
Because nobody cleans in here, in this studio.
Yeah. I just have to step right over it.
But that was a gigantic... Kevin from The Office was carrying this gigantic bowl of chili. This is only 4 little cans. How many of these cans do I have to eat, Maggie?
I mean, I think it's got to be as many as you can put down in a certain amount of time.
Wait,
Let's do like
no.
the peanut butter.
It's not
Yeah,
a quantity challenge.
Right. I thought it was just the embarrassment of having your face in a bowl of chili.
Okay.
Yes, it's not... Yeah.
Have one an hour.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
No, it's fine. I'm just going to have one bowl of chili with handcuffs on. I don't know why handcuffs.
You love the handcuffs
Also,
thing.
yeah.
We're talking about 5-way chili and handcuffs?
Who owns handcuffs?
Yeah.
I have handcuffs.
That actually doesn't shock me.
That tracks.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Remind us to get that, whoever's in the closet at Pat's house, out to go rescue them.
Nobody's in the closet.
All right, sure.
Basement.
I'm at the freezer. 855-212-4CBS. Okay.
That's a bold accusation.
That's murder. It's one thing for kidnapping.
I know what I said. We got the big Red River Showdown coming up this weekend. We turn our attention to college football. Don't move. Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining.
For losing this bet, Perloff now has to eat a bowl of Skyline chili with no hands.
And I understand Skyline chili, it's not exactly like chili that you normally think of. It's more like soup.
Yeah, saucy. I wouldn't wear that Phillies jersey on Friday. Yeah, well, we all would. I think you got to go poncho here. Perloff said yesterday he's worried about drowning.
Yeah.
Suffocating?
Well, I have
what were
no
you talking
hands.
about?
I have no
waterboarded
hands.
by chili? How's that going to happen?
Death by
Asphyxiated by Skyline chili. Because what if it gets in my nose and blocks my breathing, whatever?
Yeah, then just take your face out of it for a second
just
and
lean
breathe.
back.
I'm not going to be like there shoving your face in it like I'm dunking
your
in
head
the
in it.
toilet. Yeah.
Giving him a skyline swirly.
Yeah, right.
One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, your new morning show right here on CBS Sports Radio. And to me, Red River Showdown, whatever you want to call it, rivalry happening this weekend. It's one of the great rivalries in college sports, in all of sports. You get the Texas State Fair with all the different foods, and we'll get to some of the more unique offerings that they're going to have this year. But way more pressure on Oklahoma in this game than Texas. Texas already.
No.
Yes.
Texas has to win this game.
Texas already has a win over Alabama.
Yeah, they're thinking playoff. They can't lose this game and be in the playoff. They're the number 3 team in the country.
I don't know if they can't lose this game, but still win the Big 12 and get to the college football
Maybe,
playoff.
but there's a lot of elite teams. Like, this is very. I don't know that that's certain. If they lose this game to Oklahoma, then it's going to be an uphill battle because you have a lot of teams that are shaping up to have really good records. But anyway,
I mean, you get a lot. I think you store a lot of good faith. Like, you get a lot of good faith with the committee when you beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. I think that's going to end up counting for a lot because I also think that Alabama is actually, they're not a bad team. And I think they're going to continue to win, which is going to make that win for Texas look better and better.
Well, right, but they could possibly be boxed out by Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State. The winner, the Pac-12 is loaded. Someone in the Pac-12 has to be there this year. So I think it's just going to be a math game. This is a huge game for Texas, I think, as well. And you're right, Oklahoma, it's a huge game, but I don't know if there's pressure on Oklahoma. Does anyone expect them to be in the Final Four picture? No one was talking about them coming into the year.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you do have he might not be a Heisman Trophy candidate, but you do have like a very highly touted quarterback in Dylan Gabriel. He's probably going to be playing next year on the pro level.
Yeah.
I think, listen, you're still trying to come out from under Lincoln Riley going to USC. There's certainly pressure here for Oklahoma.
It's so funny you say that. I really feel like there's a ton of pressure on Texas here. If they lose this game, everyone's going to say, oh, same old Texas.
See, I don't think so because they erase a lot of that with the Alabama win.
Right, but that would be like Texas to blow a game like this.
No. It would have been Texas to then lose to Wyoming the next week after beating Alabama, and they won 31-10. They beat Baylor 38-6, and then smoked Kansas 40-14. Like they've already proven that they're not, they're not vulnerable for a big letdown.
I don't know. Their schedule is super weak from now on.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't know if they could get the wins. I mean, if you really look at the Final Four, because we only have 4 this year. It's going to be tough. I don't know if they have to run the table. Last year, obviously, TCU ran the table until the Big 12 title game. This is an interesting game. I don't think Texas can lose. It's funny you say that Alabama win. The other thing, too, is then if Texas does lose, they have to hope Alabama keeps playing well.
Yeah, right.
And we have no idea.
Let's hear a little sound, shall we? This is Tulsa head coach Kevin Wilson, but he's a former Oklahoma assistant talking about the best part of the Cotton Bowl is the bus ride into the stadium.
Driving, it's all jammed up. You're always playing early, that 11 o'clock kick for the most part, but you drive and you go past the stockade and around, and you pop in, there's about 30 to 40,000 people waiting on you. And they split the crowd and both buses come through. And you kind of, when I say both buses, both teams come through. And you got everybody beating on your bus, and they're giving you a number one sign of one choice. And you don't know which one you're getting. Based on the color, you're getting a number one of one finger, and number one of another finger. But you come into this mass of people, and it's like, wow, it's pretty cool.
And, of course, you got all the fun stuff with the Texas State Fair. I do think this is one of the great rivalries in college football. Is it the best rivalry? I can't go that far, but I think I think the best rivalry in college football, because it's so unique, has got to be Army-Navy. It's so different. It means so much more to people. It puts it above Ohio State, Michigan, and, Alabama, Auburn, and Oregon State. Because it's Army-Navy, it goes to a different tier for me.
To me, Army-Navy's in a different category all unto itself. And the truth is, I think everybody kind of roots for both schools in a way. Michigan, Ohio State's clearly not only the best rivalry in college football, it's the best rivalry in sports. It's probably the only rivalry left. Rivalries are generally dead because of a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But that one definitely endures. Maybe Duke, North Carolina basketball, Michigan, Ohio State. And the fact that both teams are in the top 5 right now and have been for the last few years makes it even better. Yeah, I mean, Army-Navy's, it's great. I love it. Everything is amazing about it. But the winner of Michigan, Ohio State could win the title this year.
It's true. It maybe counts for more as far as the college football playoff, but it's a totally other emotional note that it hits. Also, with Army-Navy, I know we're talking about college football, or college basketball, if it's Duke, North Carolina. Like, you go to an Army-Navy, women's volleyball game, it's just, not just as intense, but it's every seat is packed with cadets and stuff. Like, it's every sport. It's not just for football or basketball. It's pretty amazing.
2 gigantic states in the middle of the country where everybody in those states hates the other person's football team, and then they're defined by that. We have a lot of friends in the media who went to both those schools, and if you say one little joke about Ohio State or Michigan, they immediately get mad. And that commercial on ESPN where the guy throws someone out of the car from Michigan, Ohio State. You can believe that. Like, those people hate each other. Army-Navy's different.
My favorite part about this is looking at the menu for the Texas State Fair. I found one for you, Perloff.
What do you got?
I got deep fried honey butter brisket swirls.
Ooh,
that
sounds amazing.
This is a homemade cinnamon roll, deep fried honey butter brisket swirls, 16-hour slow smoked chopped brisket rolled and cut into swirls of smoky goodness, deep fried glaze with secret honey butter sauce.
Wait, where is the brisket? It's inside the cinnamon bun?
Yeah. Wrapped up in the cinnamon bun.
I like it. It sounds amazing.
Okay, how about this for you? Deep fried Vietnamese coffee.
I don't understand.
The cake is rolled into a ball, battered, deep fried, and they have slow brewed coffee infused into the cake.
Whoa, that sounds unbelievable.
So it's not actually coffee, it's cake.
It's coffee
with
cake.
coffee in it. How about, Pat, this one's for you, a fried fireball shot. I feel like this would be up your alley. You got angel food cake with fiery cinnamon fireball together, and you get to eat it.
Fireball is actually the one liquor, like, from college that I will gag at the sight of.
Bad night. Can never drink it again.
Multiple.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like for some, do you guys
Yes.
have a particular liquor or alcohol
There's always
that does
that one night that you had that you overdid it, and it's like, all right, I can never drink gin again. That was it. I did it. I overdid it, and now that was a for instance.
Right. A lot
for
of
me.
people have tequila as that drink.
Yeah, vodka, basically everything. And for Pat, it's Fireball.
Yeah. Like multiple weekends in a row, and then finally I was like, what am I doing to myself?
Or just the smell kind of brings you back.
Well, yeah, because it's like I even kind of get like I used to love Big Red. If you don't chew Big Red, bleep you. But now it's like I kind of associate that with Fireball.
Big Red's not a great gum.
Sounds like a fun night.
It used to be for me. It used to be my go-to. Nothing like a hot breath.
No, but the Big Red, it's like juicy fruit. It only lasts for like a second.
Well, how long do you need that fiery hot cinnamon in your gums?
Well, if you want to chew gum, it's just like you can't be Pete Carroll out there with some Big Red.
A lot of cavities if you chew that kind of gum there, Pat.
Thank you, Dad.
Disappointed in you.
Thanks, Dad. Coming up, a lot more to do. You're welcome to weigh in on Texas, Oklahoma, 855-2124-CBS. So much going on tonight. We get the latest. Don't move. Maggie Perloff, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
Well, the only guy who draws any ratings is
4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
She can put away a large pizza by herself. He's allergic to cheese. They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Welcome to the show. I hope Perloff is not allergic to cheese because he'll be eating it tomorrow when we pay off a show bet. Perloff lost a bet to me about Joe Burrow's contract, which means he has to eat a bowl of Skyline chili with no hands. That happens tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Set your watches.
Will you be disappointed if I effortlessly pull it off and have no mess and just enjoy a bowl of chili?
I wouldn't even be disappointed. I'd be so shocked of how you could do this. Like, you can't eat a bowl of chili, especially this kind of chili, pie eating contest style, and not get it all over yourself. Like, there's no way that's going to happen.
No, you're right.
I feel very good about that.
I got to tell you, I am looking forward to eating the chili. I know that Skyline chili is very soupy and it gets sort of criticized. I think this could be delicious. I'm excited to eat the chili.
I've never seen anyone this excited to eat anything out of a can.
Oh, I don't care if it's in a can. What's the big deal? Chili, you heat it up. It's famous. It can't be bad if it's famous, right?
What could go wrong? So that's happening tomorrow. Again, we say hi to our incredible CBS Sports Radio affiliates. If you'd like to watch this go down, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio is where it's going down. We are also on Twitch, so you can watch on our Twitch channel as well, if that's your kind of thing. Joe Burrow, off the injury report for the Cincinnati Bengals, Perloff, he said yesterday this is the best he's ever felt. That's really hard for me to believe, considering Burrow has been so immobile. Not that he's running around like Lamar Jackson, but he's been so immobile, it has clearly hampered the offense.
Oh, absolutely. And I always fear there's going to be more of an injury here because he has a calf injury, which led to Aaron Rodgers obviously having an Achilles injury. I remember Kevin Durant. So I just want him to get out of this without something more serious. I'm not even thinking about him being the old Joe Burrow.
So Joe Burrow is someone who's going to continue to play through this injury. They play the Arizona Cardinals this week in something Burrow called a must-win. And I was wondering, when's the last time anyone played the Arizona Cardinals in a must-win game?
I don't know. The Cardinals are that bad.
When did they make the playoffs the last? Well,
2
Kyler
years ago?
Murray, and they lost in really bad fashion to the Rams, right?
Yeah, but they've had a couple. Remember, they were both years of Kyler Murray. They started out like 6-0, and so they've had good starts. I don't know. The Cardinals aren't the Lions.
No, and now the Lions are like the new Patriots. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, must win against Arizona. So that's what's going on with Burrow. But again, he's never taken a seat. He's not coming back for something. He's playing through it. Meanwhile, we do have guys who are coming back off the PUP list this week. Some major headliners here too. Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, Von Miller, just to name a few. Let's start with Jonathan Taylor for a second. So the Colts are not a disaster. This is a team that has a rookie quarterback, but they are extremely competitive. Went to overtime with the Rams. Probably should have won that game last week. Now getting Jonathan Taylor back, even if it is awkward, Perloff, I think this makes the Colts even that more dangerous. I'm not saying they're a playoff team, but I've liked what I've seen so far with Anthony Richardson.
I do too. I was wondering, though, is this to showcase him for a trade? And the way running backs have worked this year, I don't think Jonathan Taylor has added value in the sense that Dalvin Cook has gone to the Jets and been bad. I think there's been really no veteran addition anywhere that's made any difference.
Christian McCaffrey?
Well, McCaffrey was last year, though. Yeah. I mean, I just think all the hype, I think all the reasons that they aren't paying running backs, a lot of that's proven to be true because you've been able to find guys who come out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess I would say McCaffrey is the exception right now, but he might get hurt. But last year, he was great for the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers had to trade a lot to get him, and they are paying him a lot still, and that turned out to be good.
But Jonathan Taylor doesn't do the same exact things that McCaffrey's so good because he's a receiver, too. He's so versatile.
That's true.
I mean, Taylor might be good at that, but I've never seen that.
Okay, so Maggie and Perloff here. We're talking about guys who could be coming back. Another one is Von Miller for my Buffalo Bills, who said he's ready to play. Now, this is going to be for a game that's in London this weekend, so a 9:30 a.m. Eastern start time. And as a Bills fan, I don't really need to see Von Miller right now. I'm not saying that the Bills are going to walk over the Jags. That's not it. But Von Miller, you need him healthy for the stretch run here. Right. In October is not when we need him. You need him in November and December.
Also, he's coming off this injury. Do you want to play him on a strange field in Tottenham? It might be a fine field. Also, I don't know how that long flight affects everything. I would sit him out here. London feels dicey all the time. It's such an unusual place.
Okay, well, actually, let's get the thoughts of an expert, shall we? A Super Bowl champion with the 85 Bears, also won a Super Bowl as an assistant coach with the Indianapolis Colts, been a longtime defensive coordinator. Leslie Frazier, good enough to join the show. Coach, it's Maggie and Perloff. Thanks for getting up with us this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you guys for having me on.
Oh, we got so many questions for you, and I'll preface it. I'm a diehard Buffalo Bills fan, so thank you for making the defense watchable again. It was pretty bad for about 20 years until you got there. We were just having a discussion about Von Miller. I think that the Bills should save him for a little bit longer. Do those discussions go on behind the scenes, or as soon as a guy is healthy, do you get him back on the field immediately?
Oh, no, Maggie. They're ongoing. I mean, you're having that discussion. And I know they talked about this back in training camp, whether or not to try to get him ready for opening day. And then from that point on, once they made the decision to put him on, I think, IR, it's been a conversation about when do we bring him back. So that's an ongoing conversation, and I'm sure they've talked about it throughout this week as well.
Coach, does playing in London affect a decision like that? I mean, it's a long flight, a lot happens, and it can be a weird field. I think this one's in Tottenham. Do you approach those games differently when you think about who's going to play and how you're going to play guys?
Well, when you're coming off the type of injury that Von had, you do have that discussion. Maybe some other injuries, maybe not. But in this case, you for sure have that discussion. As you mentioned, long flight. You're concerned about any swelling that might occur. If there is any type of setback because of the game, what might happen on the way back from the trip. So, yeah, you're having those discussions, and it does factor into whether or not you play him or not. It factors in.
Leslie Frazier is our guest. We're talking about the Bills because he was most recently the defensive coordinator for the Bills. Of course, he's a Super Bowl champion, 85 Bears, legendary. You know, Coach, I'm curious, you stepped away before the season started. Are you still in communication with the Bills? Are you talking to any of the players? Are you consulting? Or is there any communication whatsoever?
I'll get calls from some of the players and some of the coaches. As a matter of fact, I was on the phone. I'll share this with you, Maggie. I don't think you would mind. Tre'Davious had a very serious injury a few days ago, and he called me, and we talked in great depth and just trying to lift his spirits, and it was a hard conversation because he's gone through so much, coming back from the ACL. And now the Achilles, it was just heartbreaking, and it just broke my heart. Just as we were just discussing, how his mindset has to change now, how he has to work hard again, get back to the player that he was. He really felt like, Coach, I've turned the corner. I'm on my way back. He texted me after he got the interception against Washington, and he said, did I remind you of you with this interception? And it brought a smile on my face, and so just breaks my heart, Maggie. But he's such a hard worker. I know if anybody can come back from an ACL and a torn Achilles, it would be Tre'Davious.
Man, the guy was an all-pro, such a great draft pick for the Bills. But, he's been through a lot. You mentioned the ACL. I know he was super affected, as all of you were, I'm sure, by the scary scene with DeMar Hamlin. And then now to tear the Achilles, how do you make up for that loss of production?
Oh, it's not going to be easy. Some other guys are going to have to step up, and that's why, Brandon and Sean, they've done a really good job of creating depth on the team, and now you're going to have to count on your depth in the secondary. Some of the other guys are going to have to step up. You count on Christian Benford to step up, and I think he will. Kyer Elam will get a chance to get back on the field. Dane Jackson will get a chance. So those next man up. That's the mantra in the NFL, and hopefully each one of those guys will, when they get their turn, will step up and play well.
Okay, last Bills question, because Perloff has 100 questions he wants to ask you as well, but because you were most recently the defensive coordinator for the Bills, did such a great job with that defense. Coach, as a longtime Bills fan, obviously, I only want to see them win a Super Bowl, right? My whole life, from my family, everything. How much pressure is in that building? Because you guys have gotten, close. You've been dancing around it since Josh Allen was drafted and really started to come on. How much pressure are those guys feeling in the building?
I don't know if it's pressure as much as it is, just that strong desire to get it done. There's no doubt the clock is ticking, but Josh, he's playing at such a high level that this, it's early, but man, it just feels like this just might be the year, Maggie. But it's always there, the pressure, because every team comes into training camp thinking they have a chance to win it. But when you're in the situation that the Bills have been in, as you mentioned, you've been so close, just been knocking on the door. You just hope that this is the year, and it very well may be.
All right, Coach, I want to ask you about your former team as a player, Chicago Bears. They play tonight. Justin Fields has struggled a little bit. Why has Chicago never been able to have a good quarterback? Is it possible it's the team and not the quarterbacks?
Yeah. There's a long history of not having a special guy in that role. But let me tell you, when we won the Super Bowl, Jim McMahon played at a very high level for us. And unfortunately, he dealt with injuries most of his career. But when he was healthy, he was the answer at quarterback. And I don't know if they really had anyone, as you mentioned, that could really, you could say that's the guy. Although I think Justin Fields is still early in his career. I don't know if it's time to write him off quite yet. You still got to let it play out a little bit more. But they have had trouble being able to find the answer at quarterback, and that's probably the reason they've only been able to achieve one Super Bowl.
Leslie Frazier is our guest. Few more minutes here. Super Bowl champion, of course, was a champion as assistant coach, too, was a head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, most recently the defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. Coach, is Mahomes the toughest quarterback you've had to game plan against? You've gone against tons of Hall of Famers. Is it Mahomes slam dunk, or is there someone else out there that was tougher to game plan for?
Oh, Patrick will be right up there. I have to run through the Rolodex in my mind, but I don't know anybody much tougher because of, as you know, Maggie, and all the stuff he does off schedule. You have stuff taken away, and then he starts moving around and makes a play with his legs, and it just drives you crazy as a defensive coordinator. So I don't off the top of my head, I can't think of a guy much tougher just because of how smart he is, how accurate he is as a passer, and just his football IQ. And sometimes guys are extremely talented, but they don't really have a great feel for situations or the game itself. And Patrick's not like that. He's the full package, and there's a reason they've had so much success in such a short period of time under his guidance at quarterback. He's outstanding.
All right, Coach, last question from me. Maggie got in her Bills questions. I have to ask an Eagles question, another team that you were involved with. How would you deal with the brotherly shove or the tush push? Is there a way defenses can stop this, or is it just unstoppable?
Man, that's a good question. I've thought about that play a bunch of different times as I've seen the Eagles be so successful time and time again, and now other teams are copying that play around the league and trying to have success with it. Although we saw last week the Bears and the Broncos where they came up short in that situation. So, you're trying to get. I see teams trying to get better leverage than the Eagles' offensive line, but they've got a really good offensive line. It's not just the play itself. The push is hard, but the offensive line does a really good job. So I don't know if there's an answer quite yet, but people are going to continue to work and try to come up with one, and it's just a matter of time. But it's a tough play to defend. They've proven that.
Leslie Frazier, quickly, Coach, last one. You were former defensive back. Deion Sanders, former defensive back, does everything. If you want to keep coaching, would you offer your services to Deion?
Oh, Deion knows I would do anything to help him. Maggie, when we were, doing everything on Zoom during the pandemic, I had Deion to come on and talk with our defense. Did it with Rob Woodson and Joe Gibbs, a lot of different people, Coach Ditka. And Deion, he told the guys, one of the coaches reminded me of this last year when he left and went to Colorado over the off season. On the Zoom call with our players, he told them at that time, this was like 2020, I think it was, during the pandemic. And, I was just trying to be creative, coming up with ways to keep the guys' attention. And so Deion, he tells them, in about 2 or 3 years, guys, I'm going to be a Division I head coach. And at the time, he wasn't at Jackson State yet. He hadn't even gotten the Jackson State job. And so I'm listening to him talking. I'm going, man, Deion doesn't understand this coaching stuff, how hard it is. And the next thing I know, he's the head coach at the University of Colorado after going from Jackson State. So, he knows how I feel about him. I have great respect for Deion and pulling for him and just hope they can keep it going and get it going again this weekend in their upcoming games.
Well, Coach, we hope to be able to prick your brain a few times more this season. I've got 60 or so other Bills questions I'd like to ask you, give or take. Thank you so much for doing this, and enjoy the football this weekend. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Appreciate that. Super Bowl champion Leslie Frazier.
Man, he is raising the bar here on your Bills.
I know.
And I don't think he's a guy who is into hyperbole either. It doesn't sound like it. I've never known him to be like that. So when he says he thinks this could be it, Maggie. This could be the year. A little early for that, but he's been inside that building, not me. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Okay, got the thing no one is talking about when it comes to the big game this weekend. We'll get to that in just moments. Don't move. It's Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, we're back here on Maggie and Perloff. Thanks to Leslie Frazier, former Bills defense coordinator, for joining us. We're talking about the tush push, of course, the brotherly shove, the Eagles' short yardage play that they looked at. The competition committee of the NFL looked at this offseason. We're thinking about banning. It feels like, honestly, as an Eagles fan, our number one weapon. I mean, if we get to 3rd and 1, it's done. So I expected it to spread around the NFL. Teams are trying it. Shane Steichen, the former coordinator, tried it, failed. Saw it fail last week, Washington, Denver.
Also, the Giants, 2 guys got injured on the play.
I know.
2 offensive linemen got hurt on the play.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The right butt cheek specifically.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Payton.
It was Cody Bellinger, right, who's out because of the
Daniel
push.
Bellinger.
Oh, Daniel Bellinger.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cody. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, you got baseball in the brain.
Yeah, I love the tush push for the Eagles, but I feel like we're cheating. I'm not going to lie.
You are, and I thought it should have been banned because I'm like, this is now going to take over the NFL, but it turns out you can't really do it that easily. Like, I don't understand why every team in the league doesn't have this play, but they don't, and it's not successful. Yeah, Bogish.
But the Giants did it not only before guys got hurt, but like Daniel Jones didn't even follow the push.
Yeah, right.
Like Hurts always goes down and to the left. Jones stood up and went to the right where everybody else was going. Like people, aside from personnel, the execution is strangely bad in other places. Multiple quarterbacks keep going up away from the blockers, which gives the target to a defender and then get knocked backwards.
Listen, I mean, It's always funny, like the guys who can execute the quarterback sneak. The best guy, since Hurts and this tush-push thing happened, the guy who was the best quarterback sneak of all time was Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, and everyone knew he was doing it, and it felt like they converted 100% of the time.
I would say of all the things that fans know more than coaches is that quarterback sneaks always work. Don't you hate it? 3rd and 1 and the guy gets in shotgun. The team did that the other day. It was Kenny Pickett, right? It's the dumbest thing you'll ever see. Just do the quarterback sneak.
If you're Brandon Staley and you have Justin Herbert try to do it, even though he just injured his finger 2 minutes ago and has a glove on it and basically just got stitches in some medical tent, and then you try to do it and it fails.
Well, yeah, but he tried a handoff the week before that almost cost him the game as well. So the rule changed in 2005 where you're allowed to push guys. So that's why we haven't had this throughout time. I think it's a no-brainer that everyone should do it. But I'll be honest, I would consider banning it. It doesn't feel like it's not an exciting play if you're not an Eagles fan, right? Don't you guys find it boring and sort of?
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, imagine it sucks.
And we
It's
just
not
had Leslie
fun
Frazier
football.
on. He said there's no way to defend it.
I have a plan for the Eagles, by the way. They line up, the 2 skill guys get right behind the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. What if one of those guys peeled off and went long and Jalen Hurts, nobody'd be able to cover it? It'd be a fake tush-push long touchdown. Who's into it?
I mean, there's no way that they don't have a play like that already in their book.
Well,
They
they
have
You just
to.
handed it to Andy Reid. so
Hurts
thanks.
scrambled out of it the other day. It was the first time he'd ever done
tripped.
that. Yeah.
So
yeah.
they didn't do it well.
Wait,
But he got the first down.
The fake tush push. The fush push?
The faux push?
The faux push. There you go.
I mean, brotherly
You're
shove.
the
is
writer
so-
around here.
Yeah, brotherly shove is so good, though.
It's so good. It can't be beat.
It's so good. I understand that it's an obnoxious play, but the Eagles have not looked great through 4 games, Maggie. But I have confidence in the tush push. Honestly, it's any short yardage play done.
It's obnoxious,
On
but
the butt.
I don't think it warrants being outlawed because of that. It's not against the rules. It's about execution. It's annoying, but why can't
Well,
you
now
use it?
guys are pushing everyone at every time. Like,
Yeah, it's all over the league.
Yeah, like now you've like Josh Allen pushed Latavius
Yeah,
Murray
that was-
into the end zone. It's like, all right, we're just pushing each other.
It
now.
might be a little dangerous, all this pushing. You're not allowed to pull, by the way. You can't pull a guy into the end
Yeah,
zone.
if you pull, you're out.
Pushing allowed?
Push, fine.
But
If you pull anything, get out of here. You're cheating.
You know how the NFL works. Someone's going to get hurt on a push. Like, say, Josh
They already
Allen-
have.
Somebody's going to push a quarterback. He's going to hurt his back,
Yes.
and the rule will change.
That's how it goes. Bogish, what else you got for us?
Well, I've got a request for those who cover NFL teams regularly. Stop asking players like Washington QB Sam Howell what it's like to play Thursday night football.
It's different. You don't have near as much time to prepare, but you just got to, put a little more time in, and you might have some later nights than you usually would on a normal week, but you just got to do whatever it takes to make sure you go into the game fully prepared.
This is the answer that every player and coach has given for however long we've been playing on Thursday nights.
Sam Howell's had 5 starts. How does he know?
It doesn't matter. Nobody has anything different to say. No one goes, you know what, I like this.
Yeah.
I like feeling crappy. I like being unprepared.
Yeah.
It's the same answer every Thursday. I come in here and sit down, and the same answer is you just change the player or the coach. Stop asking this question. It's not new, and there's no variation. We know what it's like to play Thursday night. Ask a better question.
But our friend Ross Tucker tells a lot of people, a lot of players like the 10-day rest. They
like the back end of it. Yeah,
they like
for
the
sure.
back end of it, and they don't care to practice all week either. So some players secretly like Thursday night.
Why don't we just ask him this question? So you got into a car accident 4 days ago. Do you want to get into another car accident tonight? That's basically what it is. I know
think
you get the recovery time.
The players
but
do.
But
I think most players are secretly like Thursday night.
But it's also, that part's not really a secret. The point is, this is not new anymore, Thursday night games. There's no more information to learn about what's it like to play on Thursday. Just move to the next question.
I realize what's going on here. Bogish likes to use this time to get out certain agenda items that he has. You were using the microphone, the CBS Sports Radio reach, all of it, just because you have a personal agenda for the beat reporters.
I would like our fellow journalists to do a better job. Go to question 2 on your list. No one needs to ask anymore.
Question 2, how do you prepare for games in London?
Wait, are there a bunch of questions you hate, Bogish? I get the sense that
this is one
dumb
of them.
questions.
Is this a must-win?
Well, we got a lot of fun with must-win.
Our friend Dave Damashek asks it at the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah,
That's great.
That's well played.
Yeah.
Yeah, sign me up for that.
How about, do you talk about questions? Talk about what this means to you.
Tell us.
Well, sometimes you're talking to idiots, so you got to really set it up for them.
Oh, boy.
But no, you can be better than that. You can actually ask a question.
I think talk about should evolve. Hey, can you just give me a second paragraph for my story here? I'm writing about how the quarterback handled the blitz. Can you write it out here? Talk about is as close to write my story for me as you get.
I kid you not, I had a boss who threatened to fire me if I ever asked a talk about question.
Talk about.
And that was to kids who are in high school.
I always defend beat reporters and guys who are in those scrums. There's no original question you can ask Bill Belichick at a press conference. Every question is going to come off as stupid.
But you could at least ask him a question about the team he's facing this weekend. He's not going to answer it, but you can ask him. Instead of going, "Hey, Bill, is it tough prepping for Thursday for the 37 millionth time?"
Oh yeah, but if you ever ask Bill Belichick a question, he'll be like, I already dressed that on Monday. Got the transcript from Stacy. What are you asking me that for?
Oh, but that's
on
a
deep
him.
cut.
Yeah.
Calling out the Patriots PR guy.
Stacey James getting shrapnel.
Yeah.
on.
No. I'm not calling him out. I'm saying Belichick famously does not answer any question easily. I mean, there's no good questions in some of these spots. Talk about gets ripped a lot, but it doesn't matter. What are you going to get from these guys in the press conference? Anyway.
All the anticipation is for the Bears and the
Commanders
on this Thursday. Maybe this is the week Chicago get its first win of the season. Current Bears head coach Matt Eberflus is worried about that Washington offense.
Their front four for our offense is probably one of the biggest challenges. Really good, and they got a couple good receivers that are really skilled. Those guys are really good players, and they pose the biggest challenge for us.
The Commanders, don't forget, could have won, should have won in Philly on Sunday. We'll see how they bounce back from that disappointment tonight. Seahawks safety Jamal Adams apologized to the independent concussion doctor who you screamed at during Monday night's win at the Giants yesterday on social media. But Adams may still be facing league punishment for the sideline outburst, although most are telling the NFL to relax here since Adams got hurt just 9 plays into his first game in 13 months and because being overly emotional can be a concussion symptom. So they're asking for some sympathy here for Jamal. We also have the sad, scary story of LSU safety Greg Brooks, who abruptly left the team in mid-September with Brian Kelly eventually calling it a medical emergency. Brooks has now been diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer. He did have successful surgery to remove the tumor, but his speech and other communication skills were affected, so there's a long recovery coming for him. 4 2-game sweeps to open baseball's postseason. The Phillies sent the Marlins home 7-1 after Arizona took Game 2 in Milwaukee 5-2. The Twins blanked the Blue Jays 2-0, and the Rangers won in Tampa 7-1. No hangover for Bruce Bochy's team after missing out on the ALS title over the weekend.
They reset, refocused, and just put together 2 of, I think, the best games back-to-back that we probably have had all year when you look at the pitching, the offense, the defense, everything, which we knew we had to do.
Round 2 starts on Saturday. Rangers, Orioles, Twins, Astros, Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Phillies, Braves. The AL series come back on Sunday. The NL have that break on Sunday. They'll play on Monday. So then we get into the every other day setup. But everybody plays 1 o'clock on Saturday in Baltimore. Get your tickets now. No Rays repeat.
Well, I mean, they've been losing like 100 games a season to set up this great,
I know.
This great year.
They have to kind of do something in this playoffs, or it'll be a narrative letdown for me if the Orioles aren't. If they go out and if they get swept or something, what was all that excitement about?
Well, they're going to be good for a long time. So this is like the start of something because
I've heard that before.
I know, but the Astros did the same thing. This is like your Philadelphia 76ers. Like that, people get ticked off about tanking. But then when you see what the Astros did with their tanking, set up their playoff or World Series runs, and now the Orioles are doing the same thing.
Wait, are we sure the Orioles are going to go on an Astros-like run here?
I don't know if it's going to be Astros-like, but they got a really good team, and they're set up now for a while.
Yeah, but they're also in the AL East, and eventually that's a little tougher.
It is very tough. I was thinking about the last time that the Twins advanced in the postseason was like 2002,
Yeah.
right? 2002. Can you give me who was Best Picture 2002?
2002. Oof. Gladiator.
It was not Gladiator, but it was the same leading actor.
Oh, so Russell Crowe?
Strong Russell Crowe run here.
Beautiful Mind?
Yeah.
Beautiful Mind, okay.
2002. It's
Wow.
a long time since they won a playoff.
Yeah, I was
playoff
not
series.
aware that they were so bad in the playoffs. They lost to the Yankees like every
A
time.
million years in a row, yeah.
And wet themselves against the Yankees.
Yeah.
Each one was embarrassing.
I think everybody kind of likes the Twins, though, but
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, I was just looking at the Best Picture nominees. This was a weird year. Beautiful Mind, Gosford Park, In the Bedroom, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, and Moulin Rouge.
What's in the bedroom?
I have no idea. Robert Altman, Bob Balaban, and David Levy were the producers. So those are the guys from Best in Show.
No, Robert Altman.
But Bob Balaban is, right?
Yeah, but Robert Altman's a famous
he's
director.
famous director.
Bob Balaban is.
Oh, sorry, that was Gosford Park. In the Bedroom, Graham Leader, Ross Katz, Todd Field, producers. Never heard of it.
Nope.
There you go.
But
In
The Lord of the
Bedroom.
Rings was nominated for an Oscar.
It won the Oscar the next time. The
It
next
did?
one. Lord of the Rings, the third one, won the Oscar. Yeah.
For Best Picture?
He definitely won a Best Director.
I don't think it won Best Picture.
No.
The year there was a year where they won a lot at
Right.
the Oscar.
But I don't think it was Best Picture.
I thought it was Best Picture.
I thought the third one. Were there three? I
These
should know
were the
that.
most expensive naps I've ever taken in my entire life going to see Lord of the Rings.
I slept during the whole movie.
The whole thing. I had some popcorn, yada, yada, yada. I woke up when the lights came on. I just couldn't stay awake for these things.
Yeah. Okay. I think I can't.
Perloff reads the internet.
Return of the King also has yeah.
All right,
I have
Bogus,
no
back to the
idea. Help us
headlines.
out.
No Messi again last
Save
night
us.
for
Where's our
Inter
research team? Help me out here.
Miami. They're by the stove. They were 4-1 losers without him at the Chicago Fire. That leaves them 5 points out of a playoff spot with 3 matches left. Messi has now missed 5 of their last 6 with a nagging leg injury. Now I'm done. Do you have your answer yet?
Vamped enough for you?
I'm seeing The Return of the King won Best Picture, but I also kind of knew it definitely won Best Picture. Peter Jackson's won multiple.
I never
Oscars.
knew it won Best
And
Picture.
by the way,
because I
those
probably
movies
fell
are great, and they have a million amazing actors. You just don't like fantasy. You don't
Return
like
of
Marvel.
the King did indeed win Best Picture.
Yeah. It's you got Viggo Mortensen.
Sure.
Yeah, this is what movie were you? What are your Best Picture movies? What's your alternate?
No, I mean, it's not that I don't like any fantasy movies. I watched Game of Thrones. It's just I couldn't do it with The Lord of the Rings. It's just like another battle scene with the orcs. Oh my gosh, end this already.
2002 had good movies though, like Spider-Man, which I think that's the Tobey Maguire one
with Doc Ock.
Yeah. Was that who that is?
That was Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 3 was with what's his name, dude from that '70s show playing Venom.
Yeah, no, this is
and the
Spider-Man.
Sandman.
The first one was Willem
the first
Dafoe
one?
as a Green Goblin. The second one was Doc Ock, Alfred Molina, right?
Yeah.
And the third one had the guy from Wings.
Venom and the dude
Thomas
who played
Hayden.
Sandman.
Yeah.
Wings.
Remember we had Thomas Hayden
Church.
We had Thomas Hayden Church on the show.
Yeah, we did.
He was the bad guy in Spider-Man 3.
Who's the main character from that '70s show? What's his name?
Ashton Kutcher?
No.
Oh.
Not the one that just went away for a very long time
No,
either.
not Danny Masterson. That's
Topher Grace.
Topher Grace played Venom.
Right.
Which
That
is
is
like such a weird role.
Yeah, then Tom Hardy plays him now, right?
Correct.
So, by the way, big debate last night. This is actually Oscar, and this is more current. Instead of breaking down the 2002 movie scene.
I'm just giving a little reference of how
If
long
you guys
it's
had
been
to
for the twins.
make an early bet, which wins the Oscar, Barbie or Oppenheimer? Which do you think has a better chance?
Oppenheimer.
I was at
Barbie's
a
gonna
dinner
get-
last night. Everyone argued, watch out for Barbie as a dark horse to win.
So I saw Oppenheimer. I did not see Barbie. I like to consider myself a man of intellect, and I
Caricature?
was drowning trying to stay up to date with everything that was going on in Oppenheimer.
Couldn't follow it.
Not that I couldn't follow it. The last hour is about him being in court, like defending his public image.
Yeah.
And they throw out like 50 names, and I'm like, who are these people?
Pick up a history book, Pat. Everyone's real in the movie.
I just went for the boom. All right. That's what I went to go
Man
see
of
it for.
intellect just went for the boom. Tell us more, Mr. Albert Einstein. I have not seen Oppenheimer yet, but I did see Barbie because I need to see something that is streaming. I cannot go to a movie theater anymore because I have a child.
Is Barbie free yet, or is it you have to pay
No, it's
for it?
$25.
Okay.
To stream it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but what would I pay for 2 tickets?
So you can't.
Same.
I want to see Oppenheimer. I haven't seen it yet. You can't stream that yet.
Not
though.
yet. Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, I have to wait till Oppenheimer. Well, I'm going to go
think.
see it in the theater. Was the boom worth it? Everyone says you got to see it in the big theater.
I was, Daddy Nolan, Chris Nolan was like, watch it in IMAX, 58 film, something. I mean, look, if you got good surround sound, the cinematography is brilliant. So, like, the sounds and the sights are great. I don't know if you need to go see it in, like, an IMAX theater, but I don't know. I'm very interested in seeing Barbie.
Yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon starts this weekend too, right? Scorsese, anybody?
Yes.
I
I want
Leonardo
to see that
DiCaprio?
too.
Yeah, that could be in the mix as well.
Scorsese could make a movie about paint drying on the wall, and I'd probably watch it.
Wait, Perloff, you're having Oscar
They did. It
conversation?
was called Irishman.
Yeah, Irishman. Another one I slept through. You're having Oscar conversations in the middle of October?
Yeah, I was with a film crew last night.
Oh, wow.
All film, like a lot of filmmakers, fancy conversation.
Yeah, you going to be in another movie?
These were documentary people, so I kind of doubt it.
So something would have to go
Actually,
really wrong.
I was supposed to be in a documentary last year. You guys don't even know about this. Because the funding fell out or something. Somebody was doing a documentary on Tecmo Bowl, the video game, which is my favorite video game. And they still have a Tecmo Bowl tournament every year, and they wanted to interview me because I tweeted about how much I love Tecmo Bowl. And something happened with the funding, or the director got lost at sea. I'm not quite sure. Or I got the Hollywood no.
Or somehow
I have no
they
idea.
found Bo Jackson.
I
got him
don't know
instead.
much about the movie business. It helps a lot when Dan Patrick and Adam Sandler say, show up here. But that was going to be my next big movie role, and it fell apart.
Man, but wasn't Perloff great in Hustle? Did you guys see Hustle?
Yes.
Of course.
I know I'm your friend, but it was really awesome. You had like 4 lines. You're right there. You got the whole screen to yourself.
All right,
Pretty
you
sweet.
guys are very, very
It was a
nice.
good movie,
I think
too.
it's an overstatement. Yeah, I watched it again recently, by the way. That movie is good.
It's a good sports movie.
Yeah, it's hard to make a good, realistic sports
Agreed.
movie, and
Yeah.
they did a really nice job.
All right, enough of that. Anything else, folks? That's
No,
good?
I'm good for now.
We appreciate it so much. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Coming up, one coach proved Perloff wrong. Oh, we got that next. Don't move. Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Andrew Perloff, CBS Sports Radio. We are the new morning show. It's our first week on the job, and we've been having a blast. Let's update the poll question. Will Taylor Swift show up at the Chiefs-Vikings game? A little bit less sexy. Just a 425 game, although it is on CBS. 425 game.
I don't think that's any less sexy than the Bears game, which is
but the Bears was a home game for the Chiefs. And it was like, will she, won't she? I don't think the opponent mattered. It was just like, oh my gosh, she's going to show up.
I like that stadium in Minnesota. I think that'd be a fun experience for her. I would go there in a second.
Skull chant for Taylor
I would go to
Swift?
Minnesota. I'd go there before Chicago. Does she want to go to home games for the Chiefs? I feel like
and she went to the Jets game, but she obviously lives in New York. So.
She can't go to every game, right? If she keeps dating him, is she going to try to go to every game like Brenda Warner?
Well, I don't think she's going to show up. Pat thinks that she will. We've got a show bet on it. What's the poll result?
So I do remember checking early on, and yes, she will be there. Had a big lead. It has since flipped. So the folks that agree with you, that think she will not be at the game, 55% of the vote.
Still close, though.
45% says she'll be there.
Okay, so the loser has to wear Taylor Swift's shade of red lipstick, which is going to be painful for both of us.
Yeah, when's the last time you wore red lipstick?
Probably a Halloween costume or something. It's really not my color, but we'll see. We'll see what happens if she shows her face.
You know, it's funny, too, because you wear lipstick.
Wait, hold on. She's got to be caught on camera. It can't be like rumored to be there. We need visual.
Oh, Taylor Swift's going to be in the
stadium. She's at the
game,
she's going to be on camera multiple times.
Okay, I'm just saying.
So you wear lipstick, right?
I do.
But I feel like you are probably look more out of place wearing that. I feel like Pat, I don't know. I feel like you're not averse to makeup.
You think I look good with red lipstick?
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, you go to these EDM concerts, and I don't know what you wear. I
don't go to EDM. I went to like one.
Remember we had those sunglasses from the Air premiere from the Michael Jordan movie, and you're like, oh, I want to wear these to a concert.
Yeah, and then I never got them. So
sorry.
Thanks.
They're in the office.
Yeah, you want to have Allie put a little foundation on me though in the morning? I'll take some makeup, sure.
Yeah, listen, all of us could use some.
I know, and I'm the only one who gets it. 855-212-4CBS.
Wait, Perloff doesn't get makeup?
No, he just naturally looks this good.
Wow.
Well, I
got good skin.
Get out of here. Thank you. But I got it on the old show, but I have not gotten it recently.
On this show.
Yeah, but I could do my own makeup. It's not that hard for guys.
You guys have it so easy in so many different ways.
Just put a little foundation on there, right?
Yeah, right?
And a little red lipstick, and off you go.
Yeah.
Let's get to Brock Purdy. More specifically, this is from Kyle Shanahan. Now, this is going to seem like a pretty kind of innocuous kind of question and answer. But when I tell you this cuts at the core of who Andrew Perloff is, this one was hard to hear. Here's Kyle Shanahan talking about whether Brock Purdy is a product of the system.
That's pretty ridiculous. You just got to watch the tape. I mean, he plays at a high level every time he's been out there. And he's done it in a lot of different situations versus a lot of different defenses, on the road, at home, in playoff games, when injured. You can't do all that stuff. He's been out there too long. It's on tape.
What is he talking about? Does anyone? First of all, when a coach is speaking in a press conference, they often lie. This is a lie. You're telling me Brock Purdy, if he was in Chicago, for example, he'd be the same Brock Purdy who leads the NFL in passer rating? No way.
So Perloff's whole thing is everyone's a product of the system, whether you're Joe Montana, Justin Jefferson, Tom Brady, whoever.
Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff.
We're all just in the system.
Like, if you don't have the right teammates, the right coaching, the right people around you, you are not going to reach your potential. That's just the way the world works.
Everyone's part of a system, whether you believe it or not. I think Shanahan's trying to be nice to Purdy here. Purdy has done better, I think, than anyone could have imagined. And he's quarterbacking this team very, very nicely. But, of course, yes, if you put Purdy on a bad team, he's not all of a sudden going to look this way.
Yeah, I mean, the system thing does make people mad. I told you about the time where I confronted Joe Montana as a system quarterback, and he held up his hand and said, "Are these system rings on my hand?"
So good.
Yeah, Joe Montana, turns out, can get a little mad. Remember we interviewed him at the Super Bowl? Yeah, he didn't like that story. Brock Purdy, I think he's done a great job. He's way better than anyone could have imagined, but he's still part of this Kyle Shanahan system. And I think the coach is being humbled there because he is creating this. And you know who will really prove it, Maggie?
Who's that?
Really prove that it's a Kyle Shanahan system? If Brock Purdy gets hurt and Sam Darnold comes in there and wins a playoff game, as I have predicted, that will prove to you that it is fully the system, because you do not believe Sam Darnold's a good quarterback.
No, I don't. It's nothing personal against Darnold. He seems like a prince of a guy, but he is not a good quarterback.
Wait till you see him with Shanahan. Wait till you see him with Kyle Shanahan's offense.
For some guys, the system can't even save them. A couple predictions. So you believe that Sam Darnold will win a playoff game. You've been saying that since the season started. I have a prediction, and now I'm not so sure about it. I was feeling very confident about this, but now I'm not so sure, which is I was very convinced that Davante Adams was going to be asking for a trade at some point this season. And I actually thought it would be before their Monday night game against the Green Bay Packers, which is happening now this Monday. Now, Davante Adams doubled down yesterday and said, no, he wants to stay in Las Vegas forever. I can't tell if that's just lies and sort of something you say to the media, or if Davante Adams really would want to trade, because the Raiders are going nowhere. His best friend / quarterback, Derek Carr, is gone. Jimmy Garoppolo / Aiden O'Connell, not doing it for anybody. Davante Adams is the perfect candidate to ask for a trade somewhere.
Absolutely. But he reportedly believes in Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, shocker.
So you think that possibly could be window dressing, where he's saying,
Yes.
I want to be here, and a trade could still happen?
I think I'm selfish. I kind of want it to happen. And it's not because I'm a hater on the Raiders or anything. It's just, can't Davante Adams be in a playoff race, in a playoff game? Like, can't we get him in some meaningful football? He's maybe the best receiver in all of the NFL. He's toiling away on a team that's going nowhere.
Well, it's funny, though. The team that is looking for a receiver desperately on the trade market is the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, well, not there.
So maybe someone called Davante Adams' agent and said, hey, the Panthers want you. And Davante's like, I love Aiden O'Connell. I love his mustache.
Let's get to our shot of the day.
He shoots!
And the shot of the day is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos Tequila is brought to you by those who drink it, people like me. Today's shot of the day, well, had to have a little fun at Pat Boyle's expense.
I'm just going to have one bowl of chili with handcuffs on. I don't know why handcuffs.
You love the handcuffs thing.
Yeah.
We're talking about 5-way chili and handcuffs?
Who owns handcuffs?
Yeah. I have handcuffs.
That actually doesn't shock me.
That tracks.
Remind us to get that, whoever's in the closet at Pat's house, out to go rescue them.
Nobody's in the closet.
All right, sure.
Basement.
I'm at the freezer. 855-212-4CBS. Okay.
That's a bold accusation.
That's murder.
I just realized, yes, there'd be no saving that person in the freezer. They'd be long past saving. So, Pat, I guess you're in the clear. Perloff will be paying off the bet tomorrow, eating a bowl of Skyline chili with no hands.
What do you think I should wear?
I said poncho.
I don't have it. Do you have a poncho?
You had a raincoat?
Yeah, I have a raincoat, but it's nice. I don't want that to be ruined either.
How about...
Where do I get a poncho? At Disney World or something?
Yeah. Yankee Stadium. I don't know. Where else can you get a poncho? An amusement park or a stadium? I don't know where else people wear ponchos.
Also, we have to remember.
Made of the mist.
Are we going to lay down plastic and things around here?
We do have plastic back in the office. It looks like American Psycho happened in our office. We have plastic. We've got baseball bats.
I'll play hip to be a square, too.
Thank you.
I do realize we're sitting about 2 feet apart. The bowl of chili will be in the middle of us. You might get some chili spray.
I'm going to move. I'm going to move right over there. I'm going to be somewhere else in the studio.
You can't move. Your mic is right there. The camera's pointed at you right there. You can't move.
Dang.
You might have to wear a poncho, too.
I should definitely wear a poncho. I'll wear a raincoat.
But you have a young child, a young son at home
Yeah.
who probably eats like that all the time.
So how are you going to do this? Are you going to cook the spaghetti at home tonight?
Nope. I learned how to microwave spaghetti. I'm going to microwave the spaghetti here. Just all you do is put water on and stick it in the microwave. It's fine.
All right, so tomorrow morning, you're going to microwave spaghetti. You're going to microwave the Skyline chili.
Yes.
And then
I have sharp cheddar cheese. Going to put it, which is really the dangerous part, because I don't know how that's going to work without hands.
Are you going to bring goggles?
Dive in.
Goggles?
I'm thinking about goggles. I don't know. We have to talk to the medical team here at Odyssey, see what they have. Eye wash. I might need chemical eye wash right
Do you
afterwards.
have like rec specs, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
I do not. Like Kurt
shame.
Rambis.
It's a miss by you.
Glasses.
Thank you to Pat Boyle. Thank you to Pete Pilati. Thank you to Andrew Kaplan, Andrew Bogish as well, the Weedos and the coffee drinkers and the callers. You guys are awesome. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, it goes down. Perloff's face in a bowl of Skyline chili. Don't miss it. See you then.
You're in a 5-minute break.